I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gargano Show!
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Friday. We've reached Friday, always a great milestone of the week. I swear to God, I wake up, it's either Monday or Friday. That's what it feels like. It feels like every day's Monday or Friday. Crazy. This is the Anthony Gargano Show. VG's looking at me like I'm nuts. And we're brought to you by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. TrueMark.com/PHLY for the credit union difference. All right, we got a big football show for you today. All right, monster football today. We got Mike Garafolo, NFL Network, to recap free agency. We got Baldy. All right, so we'll do our Baldy segment. And then we got Kyle McCord, who will be hopefully drafted in the second, third, fourth round. I mean, I think he's got a shot for the third round. We love Kyle, and Kyle's going to join us. We've learned all about his journey and the combine and everything else. And so looking forward to hooking up with Kyle, South Jersey, and, of course, St. Joe's Prep. So we're looking forward to that because I love our local kids. I love our, especially when they're doing big things and creating big noise. So we'll visit with Kyle and do that. Last night, Fly Guys with a win last night in a shootout. You know, it's weird. We've reached that time. Here's the landscape. Flyers, playing at the string, right? Like, we know. It's all about the draft with the Flyers. Sixers are just a mock. Right? So now, Daryl Morey is talking about AI and how he uses AI to help with. I mean, we're not talking Allen Iverson. We're not talking AI. We're talking artificial intelligence. Ew. Oh God! You know what that screams of? I'm going to do the tech to cover my ass, right? It's like, well, I mean, AI, artificial intelligence, pick that player. AI is the one that told me not to sign or to sign or how to construct the roster. I mean, it's AI. How can you? You're going to blame me? You're going to blame artificial intelligence, the highest form of thinking on the planet? You're going to blame Grok? We're not talking Gronk. We're talking Grok. We're going to blame Grok? What's wrong with you? You can't blame it. What's wrong? Of course we deploy AI because we're ahead of the curve. It's such a fraud. It's such a fabulous fraud is what it is. Like, it's so empty and hollow, and it's all for show. Yeah, of course we deploy AI because we're elevated. We're thinkers. We don't know basketball, but we're thinkers. And that's what it's screaming. It's so phony is what it is. Let me use AI to help develop my roster. I'm going to have AI help develop the show.
How about it? AI's cheap. Doesn't cost $12 million a year. What are we even hiring this guy for if he's just relying on AI? I mean, What a cop out, dude! Like, you're basically saying I don't even do my job.
I gotta tell you,
I can ask ChatGPT a question.
Right.
Pay me $1 million. I'm good. Hey,
What do you think I do?
Who's a better signer for a signee for the Sixers this year? I mean, it's simple. I can do that.
Come on, Gronk.
I'll do her 500 grand. Yeah,
Siri,
500 G's.
should I
I'm in.
re-sign Joel Embiid for $500 million, Siri?
No.
Great. Yeah.
Siri,
Yeah, everyone's phone's going crazy.
Siri, should I sign Paul George, Siri?
No.
Do you ever get to Siri where she goes, mm-hmm? Like if I'm walking the dogs to some music, I'll be like, hey Siri, call mom. She'll be like, hey Siri.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If
Call mom.
you say Nick Sirianni, oh, man, forget about it. Always goes off.
We ain't talking AI. We talking. I mean, this
He
is
stinks.
I gotta
He
tell
stinks,
you,
dude.
When that came out, it's like it's so phony. But you know what I'm talking about? Phony. It's if well, of course we use AI. Of course,
Yeah.
because
it's a deflection.
exactly. It's like, are we that stupid that we can't see right through this
He
nonsense?
thinks we are, which is
Really?
more infuriating.
You know.
Yeah.
It's the same way with the analytics. Well, the
He's like-
analytics say it. I don't say it. It's the analytics.
It's the old, it's like, well, we're in the Easter season. It's like Pontius Pilate. I wash my hands of it. That's not me. I got nothing to do with this.
Yeah,
I
well-
wash my hands. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, the AI is the mob. Who wants to
Right.
crucify you. Hey, it's the AI did it, not me.
It's such.
Get a new, better AI system. What are you using? The Microsoft one? Whichever one stinks, he's using that one. He's got to upgrade his AI system.
It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. The more farcical this organization, every day that passes, the more farcical that organization goes. I'm at the point where if they left, I don't think I would be bothered.
You wouldn't.
First of all, the league blows. All right. So any kind of good basketball, I'll wait for the playoffs to watch.
Yes,
Right?
absolutely.
You know, all right. And they are at the point where they sap so much joy from you and so much energy. And I love them, right? But I think they're harmful.
I agree with you. And this is, they're a poorly run organization. It doesn't take much. Any organization could say, yo, everyone just shut up. Stop communicating. Like, shut it down. Let the season play out, and we'll deal with it in the offseason. Why is he going to these conferences and talking?
Well, he goes every year. And,
yeah, but just shut up about stuff.
He goes every year.
He doesn't have to.
And
this year he cannot.
Right. And that's his whole thing. He's a tech guy. He's an elevate thinker.
Listen,
God bless.
If he's a tech guy and this is product we got, give me the dudes from 1970 smoking 12 packs a day, looking at film and pencils and pens and paper.
I know. It's amazing because all it is it's all for show. It's all for show. I mean, come on, man. It's ridiculous. It's phony. That's it. What I don't like is phony. And it's phony to me. The whole thing's phony. The whole franchise phony. But I was thinking about this. So I get a notice, ESPN headlines. I wonder if it's still here. Right? So it says on the headlines, yes. Sources. George doctors mulling stars injuries.
Yeah.
All right. So, and this is what's wrong with the league and our whole thing, right? Media, everything else. That they still talk about Paul George as a star.
Like he's relevant.
Like he's a star. Like
Right.
he's a star. Are we so? Do we so not understand talent that we think Paul George is a star? Like even at his height, good ball player. Is he a star?
He's never been a star in my world.
Right.
It's,
Like Harden? All right, I'll give you
yeah,
star.
you give it that.
Paul George? He's not a star. He's a good ball player.
He's an all-star. He's not well, maybe he's a star. He's an all-star.
Come on, man. Star.
I know what
the
you're
way
saying.
you use the word, like we completely prostitute that word in sports. If you're calling Paul George a star, first of all, the story's ridiculous.
That headline is he's just sitting in the middle of a room with like
I
12
love-
doctors.
And I love Shams.
Right.
It's Shams' piece.
Is he a Clutch Sports guy? PG? Forget.
So Paul George is consulting with doctors this week on treatment options for his groin and knee injuries, including a possible procedure.
I mean,
just go away. Just go away. Go away. This season needs to end now. Like the whole league.
No, it doesn't. No, not now, because they got a chance to get better positioning. They need to lose a few more games.
But they all need to go. Like the whole league needs to end, start the playoffs. Because the league, I've never seen anything like it. Brain talks about it every day because if you
still shows it respect, calls it the association every day.
But if you actually pay attention to it, like yesterday, there was some great college basketball. Like Villanova, Connecticut was a great game until Connecticut rolled.
The game before that?
Last 10 minutes. Oh, my God. Texas A&M
yeah.
was unbelievable. Double overtime. Like March, it was some great ball last night.
Yeah, yesterday was a fun day.
You know?
I mean, I got beat up. Oof.
R.I.P. Cooper Flag. That horrible
dude.
fall. Oh, man.
Dude, he's got to get ready for
Future
the tournament.
Sixer right there.
Got to get ready for the tournament. That's a shame. Well, that's scary. What a player. But that was great basketball.
Fun day.
Meanwhile, that league is so bad. It's unbelievable. Sometimes I can't even understand it. You wonder why we're so football crazed. Think about it.
I think their people are starting to get a little
annoyed.
Yeah, well, I mean, Shaq and that whole crew and Barkley have been. I saw a clip of the Lakers playing and Reggie Miller's announcing it, and is it Alex Lem? Alex Len. And Reggie Miller's just like, he's not playing defense. He's not getting rebounds. It's time to go small. Like calling him out. Like, it's time. I think they're taking so much heat at some point. Something's got to change. Someone's got to have some pride. It's got to be peer pressure. I don't know what it is.
Well, it's nuts. And the whole league is tanking.
Yes, they are.
The whole league. It feels like
tank
half
off.
the league is tanking. I saw this. What was it? Sacramento? Yeah. And Valanciunas played 30 seconds.
Yeah, the Sixers guys got their tank helmets.
Yeah. I like the tank helmets.
Yeah, man. It's nice. Good look.
Valanciunas played 30 seconds.
30 seconds?
In the second half. What? Like, they had no Sabonis, right? So they had no big.
30 seconds?
Yeah, listen, I get that Golden State plays small and they shoot threes, but come on,
is that one? That's like one possession.
You're gonna play Valanciunas. What? You have no big. And they lost by 30, whatever it was. Zach LaVine took 3 shots for 3 quarters.
I am so glad I am completely zoned out on the NBA right now.
It's horrible.
the pain it causes you.
It's horrible.
You might need a therapist. You self-inflict this pain on you.
I know.
No one makes you put the channel on. No one makes you click and stick on the NBA.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, you're right. It's
should black it out for him.
Can you show him the Michkov goal last night?
Yeah,
let's refresh it.
The Michkov led with the Flyers.
Yeah, I know. I heard.
The Michkov shootout.
Yeah,
he is something, man.
He's
cool.
He's just cool.
He is.
And even after
he's a cool kid. I love that
scores,
kid.
He looks at the crowd. And he gives
I love that kid. He's the greatest. That kid. I swear to God, he's the best. All right, make me feel good. No more basketball. Look at this kid's.
Michkov score. Yeah, and the Flyers lead in the shootout.
Look at that.
One of the toughest saves to make on a left hand.
Tippett had a real nice goal to win it.
You had to win it.
But he's looked pretty good so far. Must have practiced. Here's Owen Tippett. 2 for 8 in his career, 2 for 4 this year. Comes in from the left wing. Deeks, let's go! But he's looked pretty good.
I like Tippett.
So do I.
I'm a Tippett man. I like Tippett. Those two. You know what's funny? I can't wait till those two are out on the ice. Like the shifts are no disrespect to the rest of that team, right? But you get
none at all.
You get my point. I look forward to that line so much. Right?
I'm like you with the Flyers. I'm trying to fast forward. I'm so excited about next season.
Yeah,
I'm excited about this off season.
Yeah, it's gonna be,
I want to fast forward.
Yeah, I'm in on it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But you wonder why we're all about football. Now, So Mikey G's going to join us coming up at 9:20, then Baldy, and then Kyle. Did you see the Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence feud?
Yeah, I think I said that.
So this is great, right? So it was funny. Pat, our buddy Pat McClune and I were texting about last night, and it's so on point because the Eagles are like the poster child of the NFL. You know, like even though they're like losing players and the whole thing, everybody understands it, right? Like you get like the Eagles. Look, they've stockpiled 20 picks. Shefty goes off.
Shefty was,
like,
oh my God.
Talking about
a love fest.
Yeah, like, listen, I agree with him. But here's the deal. Like, the Eagles are the darling of the league.
Yes.
And the Cowboys are a mock. You got it? Let's see. This is great.
You know, Dallas is my home. I made my home there. You know, my family lives there. You know, I'm forever going to be there. But, you know, I know for sure I'm not going to win a Super Bowl there. So, yeah.
I mean,
we here.
We're here. DeMarcus Lawrence,
Appreciate
welcome to the Seahawks. Thank you.
He's just saying what everybody knows.
Is that not great? And so Micah basically said that's some clown stuff going on right there. Right? And then Lawrence comes back and says, bro, the only clown is the organization, whatever it was. Like it was going back and forth. It's great. Like they're sitting there, they're a complete and utter mess.
It's the Empires have been falling in a mess for a while, but this is like they're bad.
They're bad.
They have no direction.
Oh, come on. They got Miles Sanders.
They got no direction.
They got a direction.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, think about that. Like that's our. Like they're going through our pizza box on the steps on the trash night,
dude. Like,
and they're
3-day-old pizza box.
Yeah,
exactly.
Trash collection's been delayed a few days, and they're still going
picking
through
the
it.
bones.
They're picking through the trash.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Miles Sanders.
They're like at the landfill. They're at the
They
landfill
are.
picking through it.
Like they're so bad. It's unreal how bad. If you're a Cowboys fan, I wonder how they feel. All those people. I'll never forget fighting with them every day on the air, like early 2000s. You remember? You used to listen.
Yeah, they were some good villains.
Oh, they were great villains.
They
like,
got no
we would
teeth
do the
easily.
Eagles fans, Cowboys fans, steel cage matches.
Cowboy Dave, Captain Cowboy.
There was like 4 Cowboy Daves. In fact, I was Roman numeral on them.
We had to do it at O'Neill's. Cowboy Eddie.
Yeah,
parading around with his jersey on all the time.
And they would all wear, they'd have the white mock turtle and the white jersey.
With the Jason Witten.
Right? Like, and they were all in the Cowboy. Yeah, how about them Cowboys? And you see them with they put that damn star on their trucks and everything else. And they're just so irrelevant. They're the worst franchise. Among the worst franchises in all the NFL.
And they're not, it's not like there's any change happening soon. They're not bringing anyone in. Jerry Jones and his son just doing what they do.
Well, the beauty.
They ain't giving the keys up to anybody.
Here's the beauty of it, too. The beauty of it is you're not in a rebuild, right? So you're going to wind up wasting Micah and CeeDee Lamb.
And an expensive quarterback.
Right. Like, you're going to waste. They're two great players.
Great players.
And you're going to waste them.
Yep.
This is awesome.
Dude, Randy in the chat says the Cowboys are the Sixers of the NFL.
Yes.
Yes.
It feels like that. Some high-priced players, and you're just going to stink.
Yes. Yes. That's so awesome, man. That is great. Well, not for us, the basketball.
No, I mean,
but no, Randy's right on.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about some of our friends, and then get into our big football day today. Starting with Mike Garafolo, and then Baldy and Kyle McCord. Good football Friday.
Great football Friday.
And then we'll go out the brain, go over some college hoop. But let's talk about Timeline. Ooh, yeah. Oh, what's my new thing? Timeline. All right, Timeline health and longevity supplements featuring their proprietary MitoPure ingredient. MitoPure works with the cells in your body to help reverse age-related decline. That's it. So, look, the cells in our bodies are the building blocks of life. We know that. Timeline is a supplement that works with these cells to give you more energy, to feel stronger during workouts, preserve health, mobility as you start to age. All right? Or I tell you about MitoPure. That's the patented ingredient, a postbiotic nutrient that clears out dysfunctional mitochondria, a.k.a. your cells' battery packs. Cleans them out. Clean.
Good.
Next thing you know, you got energy.
They need to clean it every now and then, yeah?
Yeah, you need that. No, you're right. That's true. MitoPure recharges your cells and helps your body system to work better. It's the only supplement clinically proven to rejuvenate health at the cellular level. All right, I'm excited. I just started this past week. All right, get ready to be your best, most energized, most revitalized you. All right, go to timeline.com/PHLY today. Timeline.com/PHLY today.
Markel in the chat says PG needs some timeline. Let's get it.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. All right. You know what? GLAT Hair, they're here to help us out. All us guys who have thinned out hair, receding hair, hair not the way you like it. Well, GLAT Hair has been restoring and defending hairlines for over 30 years, so it's no wonder they got the reputation that they do. Their proven results and experienced team are only a few reasons the GLAT Hair name stood the test of time. GLAT Hair by Morgenstern Medical isn't just about restoration, it's about innovation. Their breakthrough specialized GLAT Hair techniques really dramatically change lives and hairlines. The GLAT Hair technique consists of, you get one-on-one care, you get a 100% personal hair restoration plan of action designed just for you and your specific hair loss, you get follow-up care, and you get cutting-edge hair loss prevention treatments, medications, and more. GLAT Hair can help you keep the hair you already have, or they can help you bring back the hair you've already lost. If you'd like more information and are ready to defend that hairline, today visit GLATHairMM.com. That's GLATHairMM.com, or you can give them a call, or you can text them 610-980-4000.
I like it. GLAT.
Defend it.
GLAT. All right. Couple things before we get to how do you, now we're a week in, like we talked about a little
into
free agency. How do you feel?
Fine.
Like you're good. You're not panicked.
No.
Because again, there was some panic. We talked.
There's tons of panic.
You know, and maybe not panic's the wrong word, but there's grousing.
There's a lot of grousing.
The two things I understand, like
Yeah.
Phillies grousing. Like there's a lot of Phillies grousing going on.
Yes.
I get it. I disagree with it because, I mean, you weren't going to shake it up. Like, what would you think they were going to do?
Sign everybody. Bring it all back. Run it back, I guess. People thought they were going to run it back. Maybe.
Well, yeah, but you're not going to run it back, all right? You don't have the money to run it back, and you can't, not what you have, you know, in the future that you have to re-sign,
I
right?
think maybe that's hard.
And then the same thing with the Phillies. You can't just keep adding and adding and adding to it. Like you gotta allow them. That they were still a good offense. They just have to tweak things.
Yeah, I think there's a Fox. Our friends over at Fox, Mike and Alex Holly, they did a thing with reading tweets about Howie Roseman.
Oh,
It
Alex,
was pretty good to give you
really?
the temperature take on
I
what
love
Eagles
Alex,
fans
yeah.
are like right now.
Yeah.
This is funny.
Eagles fans are freaking out.
Yes.
So we read some of them.
Reading their tweets.
I bleed for this city!
Fire Howie.
Trust Howie.
Whoever hit Howie with that beer can, this is on you.
I'm just gonna trust Howie.
Howie's smoking crack.
Howie knows what he's doing.
Thanks, Howie. You trash for that.
Howie gonna Howie at the draft.
Howie has CTE.
Everybody breathe and relax. Howie comes through time and time again.
He's back. The guy who passed on Justin Jefferson and Lamar Jackson.
Howie has proven himself. Just sit back and be patient.
That beer can must have scrambled his brains.
And just like that, Howie building another championship defense.
Oh yeah, Howie. These trays are complete.
Howie working his magic.
Count your days, Howard.
Oh, that's awesome. So I got my buddy Vinny, right? So Vinny, over the last couple of days, if he texted about Huff once, he did it 1,000 times.
That's the one thing he's laser focused on.
Say if you had Huff, if you didn't sign Huff, you could have had all of them.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Huff's killing him. Huff is murder. How he screwed that up. And he must have said it like 5 times. And I was laughing. I'm thinking, all right, like, yeah, I mean, was that a mistake?
Yeah.
All right, it was one mistake.
It's a big swing and miss.
But everything else was a home run. Like, everything else landed.
Yeah.
Right? Everything else landed. And, oh, by the way, you won a Super Bowl.
You can't.
Like, is
you
there a
can't complain.
statute of limitations? Like you shouldn't be able to criticize the Huff move after a Super Bowl.
You can't criticize any moves in the year that you win a Super Bowl. That should be a moratorium on any criticism.
Right?
I mean,
like, listen, I'm not, listen, I'm not an apologist. Like, to me, I get mad. Like, listen, the whole thing. But which fair is fair. I try to look at things fair, right? I'm down the middle. I don't get
like I think it is fair to criticize him for the Kelsey and the Fletcher Cox deals towards the end, which are still hurting him. I think that's a fair criticism, but not the Huff thing.
Right. I mean,
the Huff they won a Super Bowl during the Huff year.
Well, right. Like you won the Super Bowl, so All right, let's go to our man to recap free agency and see where we stand. From the NFL Network, South Philadelphia's own, the only place for NFL news, Mike Garafolo. Mikey G!
What's up, buddy?
So,
what's up, cuz?
Is there buddy. You're not a buddy guy. It sounds weird coming out of your mouth.
It's been a long weekend.
I hear you, buddy. Hey, so Howie's getting shrapnel. And, like, to me, I'm far big.
Howie's getting what?
What's that?
Howie's getting what?
Shrapnel.
For what?
In fact,
what is wrong with people?
I know. We were just talking about it. In fact, our good friends Mike and Alex from Fox 29 Good Day Philadelphia, they read all the tweets. Howie's got he got CTE from getting hit in the head with the beer can. I got my buddy Vinny talking about Bryce Huff. Killed him. See, what a colossal mistake.
Oh, the Howie who missed on Justin Jefferson's back.
You're right. I'm going, I think you win a Super Bowl, you should be immune to whatever signing.
For like 2 months, you think?
Yeah. At least a few weeks after the parade, man.
I don't know.
It's unbelievable.
We just put out the Josh Uchi full numbers, and I got people saying, "Oh, Howie's cooking again." So I saw the opposite. I guess I'm wrong.
Well, we're in the belly of the beast, so how that works. So let's look at the Eagles from the trained eye, and let's look at the off season. You knew that they were going to be able to sign some of these guys, and look, that's part of the whole point. You win a Super Bowl, guys are going to poach you. They're going to poach your players. They're going to poach your coaches. That's what it is. He's going to have 20 draft picks in the next 2 years, 15 in the first 4 rounds. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way that he plans for things. It's the way that they've structured their deals, and they make it a part of what they do. I think some teams take it to the extreme with, focusing too much on the comp picks and not enough about, bettering your team right now. Because the comp pick doesn't come till, a year after, right? Well, like this Uche deal is if it's under the comp pick formula, so it doesn't count against your comp pick formula for you. But if he hits and he goes elsewhere and he signs a deal elsewhere, you get that back in the form of a comp pick in 2027. So that's kind of how they play it out. And some of this stuff is hitting, and some of this stuff is part of the whole process. I don't think did they get any this year though? I don't think they got any comp picks this year. Now that I'm saying this, but look, and he's gonna take those picks and he's gonna turn them into picks next year and moving down the line. Like you got a 5th this year and you turn it into a 4 next year, and that's kind of how you do things. And you they do a good job and maybe a better job than a lot of other teams in looking at it that way. And yeah, I mean, when you've got the quarterback and you're paying them top dollar, which it's not even top dollar at this point, it's you know, you have to lean on your draft picks. You have to lean on your young guys. So they have pushed a lot of this stuff forward, and not to say that the bill is coming due now, but you know, they've got to kind of maneuver these things. I mean, the Uchi deal I was just talking about, they added 4 void years to a $1.9 million deal. It's a nothing deal.
Yeah.
No, nothing. I mean, I'd like to have a $1.9 million deal, but I'm saying in comparison, it's a nothing deal. And they added void years because they've got to manage the salary cap with that. They can't even have the full 1.9 hit on the cap. So, you know, they're pushing this stuff going forward. They're leaning on a lot of the young guys, and they're leaning on a lot of these value signings at the veteran position. They just won a Super Bowl.
Well, the other thing too is you know you're going to have to pay Jalen Carter, right? Like there's guys that you're going to have to. Carter's going to be, he's going to get the biggest contract of a defensive lineman in football. So you got to prepare for that stuff. You know, I mean, I love the formula, right? The formula is I got, you know, A.J. Brown, I got Devontae Smith, I got Saquon Barkley, I got my quarterback, and then I hit on my picks.
Yeah. And they've got, I mean, look, it pretty much went the way we thought it was going to go, right? They kept Bond. They probably paid more than they thought they were going to have to pay for Bond. You know, I think they were at 15 at the combine. And they wound up giving him 17. So that's another player right there, right? Yeah. That's a $2 million player that you just lost because you had to extend a little bit more for Bond because he was that important to you. But we figured Sweat and Williams were gone. Williams got a ton of money, like a ton of money. And then, you know, Becton's still TBD, but they trade for Kenyon Green, and they wound up having Houston take on half of that salary anyway, as part of the trade. It was like 2.8 and Houston paid 1.5 of it. So they said, well, we're going to have to do what we did with Becton last year. It's going to have to be a reclamation project, right? We're going to have to get a guy who just hasn't hit, but he's got the talent, bring him here. And Jeff Stoutland, and you know, Stoutland signed off on it. You know, Stoutland said, this is something I can work with here. And then all of a sudden you got yourself a starter. You're going to have to continue to keep doing that because you're paying everybody else on the offensive line what you're paying.
No, and it's brilliant. I mean, the fact that you got Stoutland, you know, you have a graduate program right here on your team that is so valuable. So I'm with you. I think it's a smart move. You still got Steen, right? So it's like you still got talent along that line. Where's Becton? Is he getting any sniffs? I'm just curious.
No, I mean, he's getting sniffs, but it's not the market he thought it was going to be. And it's because of, I thought that this 1 year, just because teams just need offensive linemen. I mean, Will Fry's got a huge deal as a guard, and he's got a leg thing that some teams were worried about. But, you know, you get to the point where, like, we need a top line guard. We're good with the medical. We're going to overextend. So I thought for Becton, it would kind of be the same thing where, you know, he's got the questionable start to his career and all the questions that were with him coming into the NFL too, as well. I thought this year would wipe that out. That has not really been the case. And so he's going to have to figure out what kind of deal he wants, or just go back to Philly. If he does wind up with the Eagles, I don't know the numbers, but I can tell you at this point, if it was a good enough deal, he would have taken it. So, you know, if he goes back to the Eagles, it's going to be not nearly what he thought he was going to get on the market. So he's got interest, just not at the right number for him.
Right? Like, that's shocking. What's Kansas City going to do on their O-line? What's Houston's going to do on their O-line? That was
Houston
a problem.
Signed a couple of guys. Signed Laken Tomlinson, a veteran. So they had this veteran out there, former first-round pick, who's in the back end of his career, and they give him $4.5 million or whatever it is, versus Becton, who, I mean, listen, I'm sure Becton thought in his mind he's approaching $10 million a year, and it's definitely not there. If it was there, he would have taken it already. So, yeah, I'm actually surprised that we are in Friday of free agency week and he doesn't have a deal. I thought he would have one by now, even if it wasn't quite the market that he thought. So, yeah, I mean, I'll nose around on him a little bit more today, but And I feel bad because I like the kid. I every time I talk to him, he's a good kid. He's got some stuff like last time I talked to him was at the Super Bowl, and I asked him about free agency, and he goes, "I haven't even thought about that." He says, "Because I got bad anxiety, and if I start thinking about the future, it's going to mess me up bad." So he's got some stuff that he's had to deal with over the years, and he dealt with it as well as possible this year, and really played well for the team.
Yeah, well, you know him from the Jets, and geez.
Yeah, and he was a mess. I mean, he was a mess. You know, and it wasn't a great situation, and he feels like he wasn't treated the same way that he was with the Eagles, who really did a good job of propping him up and making him feel good about himself instead of knocking him down. And Jeff Stoutland showing his faith in him, right? I think you get a guy like that, you just got to show him a little confidence, a little faith. Now he's got to respond. You can't just do that endlessly. You got to get a little back, and he did this year. So I hope for the best for him, whatever it is, because he works hard. He's got some stuff going on, and he made the best of it this year.
Yeah. Where else do you see? Like, it's been a fascinating time with the quarterbacks and the free agency. Like, take me into your world for a second. You know, you got Rodgers, like this, like every little piece of it. It's just wild.
Just of
your world. Take me into your world.
Reporting on it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nonstop. It's I slept through Miles Sanders last night. I woke up I fell asleep at 11:15, which I knew because the only reason I went because I knew Cup wasn't happening last night. So I was like, I'm surprised that's not happening. So I gotta catch. Like I'm way behind this week. So I'm like, I gotta catch it. I'll give it till 11:15. So I went to bed at 11:15, and I woke up at 2:45 to a text. That was sent at 11:27. Are you still up? And I knew exactly what it was. I was like, this is Miles Sanders. I know it's Miles Sanders.
Yeah.
So at 2:45, I go, it's either out there or I ain't getting a reply anyway, so I ain't even looking, right? So I wake up at 6:45 today, and I went look. Right away I said he signed with the Cowboys. Yeah. So I was trying to get they were trying to get you the heads up at 11:27 and it hit at midnight. So, that's it's the price we pay, right? Like, it's fine. It's you got to be able to live with that, Ant. So that's kind of what we've been dealing with here this week, but it's fun. And we didn't fight amongst each other, which is great. Ian, Tom, and I. Usually there's one big blow up. We didn't have any this year, which was awesome.
How do you divvy it up?
We don't. I mean, you don't divvy it up. You just kind of go, But what bothers me and what leads to fights is when one of us puts something out while the other one's working on it, or maybe it's like one of our guys or something. It's like, dude, like you can't just go behind my back and do that. Like that's what leads to the knockdown, drag out brawls. I had that. Oh, you did. So we've been better about the communication between each other. Hey, who's working on this? What do you got? I'm hearing this. Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
To me, it's like but you also don't want to sit there and be like, well, he's got it, and then you let it go, and then somebody else gets a story, and you go, I thought you had that. Well, I thought I did too. So you got to kind of it's a balancing act.
Yeah,
so, Mike, if you get a tip, you don't just rush to Twitter. You check in to make sure no one else is working on it. You run it by them.
It depends. Like if it's somebody that we know, like that's that guy. Like this guy and the agent are best buddies, or maybe like he knows the player, or maybe it's a team. Something like when they'll. The two of them will do something on the Giants or something. Oh, whoa, hey, or if it's a Vikings thing, Tom's in Minnesota, I'll always check in with him first and like, hey, hearing this, not to leave him off because it's your home market. You don't want to look bad, right? An Eagle, yeah. But the Eagles are like, I don't get you can't get the credit for both New York and Philly, right? They can't give me like, oh, they're both his home. So they only give me really the Giants. So if they got an Eagles thing, they'll run without telling me sometimes.
That's a violation.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, you can't
You should have domain over the Eagles.
So I have Giants, Jets, Eagles, Baltimore, Washington, New England. There's 6 drivable teams. Tom's got 1, right? That's it.
That's his problem. He lives out there.
I always say, like, I don't understand how people
he's got
live.
Green Bay's drivable. I've done it.
From Minnesota?
Yeah. Yes.
I don't think so.
Yes.
How long's that drive?
I've done it. What are you talking about?
That's a long drive. He'll fly it. But when I say those are within 4 hours. Like if I drive to Washington, I mean, if their facility is 4 hours to drive, the stadium's 3.5, right? So I'm within to stadiums, 3.5. I got 6 teams because I can get
Yeah.
to Foxborough in 3.5 as well.
It's a 5.5 hour ride.
I know.
Yeah. Let's do
He
it.
flies it. My cutoff is
I'm sure you.
anything over
I know,
4.
but I'm telling you, I drove it because if flying out of Green Bay is a little airport.
I don't consider, like, if I get a Green Bay scoop, I ain't checking in with Tom. I'll put it to you that
Right.
way. How about that? That's the way I can say.
I got you. In Chicago to Green Bay's close.
That's close.
I've done that.
I've done that. Yeah.
That's 4 hours, 4.5.
Yes, that is. You know what? Now that you say this, don't. I'm still only counting them as one home team for him. How about that?
Exactly. Dude, the Cowboys are a mock. I gotta ask him, what is their plan? They're gonna wind up wasting, like, they have 2 great players in CD and our boy Micah, but they're gonna wind up wasting it. Like, they're in this no man's land. Like, you're signing Miles Sanders.
Yeah, they trust themselves to draft well. They have for years, and they did for a while. It's draft and develop too, right? Like, oh, this team's good at drafting. Well, you got to be good at developing too.
Yeah,
right?
That's the Eagles.
When draft picks don't work out, it's not just because, oh, you picked the wrong guy, he stinks.
Right.
Because you didn't foster his talent and allow him to develop, or sometimes it's an injury or whatever. I mean, but the point is, they have done a good job of that and finding those guys. Now, coaching staffs have changed over the last couple of years. I still go back. I think Jason Garrett's coaching staff was really good. Him and his coaching staff were really good. I don't think we appreciated them enough. I really, really believe that, because that's when they did a lot of that stuff. And so now you continue to think, okay, we could do that. You better have the guys that are able to do that. Like, is Brian Schottenheimer going to be the guy that allows you to do it? McCarthy's staff was up and down in that regard. I know he's not your favorite, but I thought that there were a couple of guys that I heard early on, oh, we really like this. And the guy just never really came along. The one guy that did was Osa Odigizua. They got him back. Now, look, they got him back at $20 million. Milton signed for 24, right?
Right.
So they're back. That's what they also bank on that, players will take less to play for the Cowboys. And Jerry will try to have that communication directly with the player to get that and put it in his head.
Right,
and sometimes agents get pissed at that, and sometimes agents are totally fine with it. But I remember a couple of guys getting deals. There was a guard, or I forget who. Mike McCartney was the agent. I remember this. It was years ago. And I remember him getting like upset about how Jerry was backdooring the negotiations by going right to the player. There's been other agents over the years that have been upset about that. And some of them go, no, I trust my client. You can go in and talk to him. Let's keep the team happy, but I'm going to hit him over the head when it comes to negotiations. So they've had a little of that this year, but they got to draft and they got to make sure that they hit on these guys this year, because they're going to need their contributors from this draft class.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look, even in their builds, where are they really good? Like, what?
Yeah.
On both sides of the ball, there's nothing that stands out. I mean, you have 2 really good players.
Yeah.
But, like, what are you? Like, what's your identity as a team other than we're the Cowboys?
Well, I'm still not convinced also that they don't trade Micah away.
Right.
Like, I'm not there yet. And all of a sudden you get rid of him. No identity, right? Like,
right.
You better get a haul for that. But I when I think of the Cowboys of years ago, I think of the offensive line, and their offensive line is middling right now.
Run game. You think about a run game?
Yeah. No, I think they'll go running back early in the draft.
Yeah.
And then they wind up being their guy.
They should take Genty, to be honest with you.
If he's there.
If
he's there. I mean, the kid is highly thought of, and we're seeing now the value of monetarily the value and the draft pick value of the running back come back now a little bit. So he's there. What number do they have in the draft? They're in the teens.
I want to say
12 or 13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
may go top 10.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, listen.
Go top 10.
Genty's. I love that kid. That kid is incredible. I love him. In fact, Baldy and I just did watched a bunch of film, and I'm a big college football guy. You know that, so I love that kid. I mean, the interesting thing about Boise is they didn't have a good quarterback. It wasn't like they had a great passing game like they had in the past. This kid it was just all him, and he's running against 8, 9 men fronts. I mean, legit stuff. Anyway, Where does Rodgers go? That's your boy.
Does he know? Like, does he know? That's what I keep going back to. I on Wednesday, I saw a bunch of posts and reports about like today's the day for Aaron. Who told you that? And even if it was Aaron who told you that, would you believe it? I don't know that he knows what the and so the other day it was Monday, I think, Monday or Tuesday. One of the teams involved. I said, well, what's going on? You go, I don't know. Apparently he's been swimming in the ocean for 2 hours and nobody can get a hold of him. I go, what do you mean? He's like, he just went for a swim and left his phone behind and nobody can get a hold of him. And I'm like, he's doing the whole, darkness treat. And then the picture of the beach came out after that of him on the beach looking very Luke Skywalker-ish, right? Like very, very like staring at the two suns. I think he's kind of going through that a little bit right now. And I don't know how quickly. I heard somebody at the Giants that Ian and I have been on top of sent us a text this morning and go, it's 9:30 and I haven't heard from either one of you guys yet. Well, you don't fall asleep at the wheel. And I go, are you telling us something? They're like, no, we don't know. We have no idea. We don't know what time. Now, in the meantime, they're meeting with Flacco. So if Joe signs with the Giants, right? He'll have played for all the teams around Audubon. Baltimore, Eagles,
Philadelphia,
Jets, Giants. They'll hit all four of those there, the corridor up here. So they're going through their contingency plans. Last year, Russ was the one that initiated the meeting with the Giants. Like the Giants were like, okay, fine, we'll meet with you. Like they sort of did him a solid. This year, they're the ones saying like, we got to meet with you. Here, we got to like do this for real now. So he's meeting with them today. Flacco yesterday. They were going to talk to Mason Rudolph before he agreed to the Steelers. If they don't get Rodgers, because I'm under the belief, and nobody knows this for sure, but everybody that I've talked to that has had communication with Tennessee about the quarterback situation seems like they're getting the feedback that Tennessee is staying put at 1 and taking a quarterback, which would be Cam Ward.
Right.
So where does that leave the Giants if that happens?
Right. They have to. I mean, they got to go get Rodgers. You have nothing, man. You have no contingency whatsoever.
A quarterback room where it's Russell Wilson,
Tommy DeVito,
Boyle, who they had last year, Tommy DeVito.
I mean, that's bad.
Now, I like what they've done the last couple of days in free agency. I think they've added some good players. I really do. But it don't mean squat if you don't have the quarterback. And look, John Mara brought these guys back last year, but A, had to think long and hard about it, and B, made it clear after he did that he's running out of patience, which means when we get late in the season coming up this year, we better be talking more about the Giants' playoff positioning than their draft positioning. Otherwise, John Mara ain't going to have much patience this time around.
You know what's weird, though, when owners do that? It almost backfires on them because sometimes with best for the franchise is to take a step back and really kind of develop it. But if your coaches are concerned about their job, they're going to force to win now. And sometimes they may not play younger players. Like a lot of it kind of fall. Like they shoot themselves in the foot a lot of times, these owners.
Backing up to what you just said there, if Brian Daboll knew for sure before they played the Colts in Week 17 that he was safe, do you think they win that game?
Exactly.
I don't think they win that game.
Right.
But he didn't tell them. He did not tell them to. And John he doesn't want them to tank. Like that's his whole thing. Every time we're on the football field, we're trying to win. I had somebody for another team. I remember talking to them the week after that. They're like, how do you let that happen? How does that happen? How do you win that game? And I go, well, he didn't know if he was back or not. Just like Lovie Smith, a couple of years prior, he wins the last game. He actually wound up, at the time we were like, oh, he did him a favor because they wound up with C.J. Stroud other than Bryce Young, but that appears to be flipping back again now. But he was like, I'm out of here, or I think I'm out of here. I'm going to win this game. Daboll was kind of like the same. Hey, if I'm out of here, I'm going to win this game. I'm going to ruin their draft positioning. They wound up coming back, and now they don't control their fate when it comes to the quarterback.
Yeah, it's bizarre, man. So who do you like ultimately? Who do you like? What teams do you think did really well?
What teams do I think did really well? Again, I think the Giants got better. Don't know that it's going to be enough. Jaguars made a lot of moves, but I don't love them. Gosh, and I gotta go back to my tracker here. Like, bro, it's been
What do you think about Washington?
Same, sort of the same approach as last year, right? The value signing veterans, the guys that have been around and performed for them. They brought back a defensive tackle yesterday, Sheldon Day, who's been good for them, or was good for them late last year. When what's his name got hurt. By the way, what is Miami doing? Like, Zach Wilson, $6 million for Zach Wilson.
I don't get that.
Who was ready to pay Zach Wilson $5 million? How do you get to $6 million?
It's unreal. I don't get that a little bit.
I'll give you one. I'll give you one. New England. I really like what New England did. New England just added good football players. Okay.
Yes.
Let's go through this.
I agree with that.
Josh Dobbs, fine, whatever. Matt Collins.
Yeah.
Morgan Moses.
Yeah. I like
who I've known forever, is one of the great guys and a really good player and a reliable guy who's willing to play through injury. He's great. Harold Landry's going to work out well for them because Mike Vrabel knows exactly what he's about. Milton, he's going to be a guy that's going to contribute. Robert Spillane, the linebacker, is just a really good football player. Carlton Davis, another great.
I love Carlton Davis.
Carlton Davis, another really good player. So I really like what New England did there. Yeah,
that's Vrabel, man. Vrabel is he's just sharp dude, man.
Yep. New England's been busy. These deals are okay. I mean, not New England, Houston. I mean, the CJ trade. CJ's like that. You like to go out and party with somebody, and then the next day it's kind of like, I gotta go to work. That's the kind of the way his career has been. That's probably going to be the rest of the way. So he'll help. He'll give them a boost.
Do you hear anything with the tight ends? Like, there's a lot of talk about Goddard, and there was talk about Goddard to the Jets, maybe. Are you hearing anything with the Eagles and Goddard?
Yeah, I don't think it's settled yet. I think there's still a possibility he could stay at his current number. He could get dealt elsewhere. This could be something that we're talking about through the draft, and then maybe he winds up at, I think they're looking at it like, if we get the right deal for him, then we'll move on. I don't think they cut him. So I don't see that happening.
No,
I think
they're not going to cut him. I don't think that. Yeah.
Right. I think if somebody, it's a big number he's got this year, 13 million or something like that.
It's less this year, I hear, but more he wants a deal. He wants a new deal, and
that's the problem.
They're like, we don't want to invest.
This feels a lot like Zach Ertz. Okay.
Yeah.
And remember how that went.
Yeah.
That carried into the season, and then they dealt them at the trade deadline. Now, they weren't competitive at the time, or maybe they were. I'm trying to remember. Was that Nick's first year?
Yeah, it was Nick's first year.
It was it 2020? I think it was maybe in 2020, the COVID year. So I think you're getting to a point where as you get into the season there, now that
I don't know if you could do that when you're the Eagles this year. I don't think you could do
right. Yeah, it's not going to work out that way.
I think they're going to draft a tight end. It's a great tight end draft.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'll take one, and then I think you might see something happen either during the draft or that sort of thing. And then I'm wondering about what's the Raiders doing with Michael Mayer?
Hang on, no, they like him. They're my understanding is they like him. And they're going to keep him.
Really?
So I don't think he's
Bowers.
I mean, at some point you got to pay one, or you're gonna have to pay at least one. But we've seen teams pay two. It's doable. It's not out of the question. So yeah, it's Goddard. Goddard has been discussed with other teams, right? And again, I don't mean that to sound like, oh, they can't wait to get rid of him. It's just they've got a big number. He wants a deal. They've got to go through their options.
Yeah.
Nothing has appeared imminent the last couple of days, but I wouldn't sleep on it. And then again, if we get through this phase and we get closer to the draft, we could have these conversations once again. We'll see.
That sounds good. My brother, we love you. Have a great weekend, buddy.
You got it. See ya, boys.
The great,
Have a great
Mike
great weekend.
Garafolo, NFL Network.
Eagles Insider.
Time for the break. Brain.
Red the Brain Finder.
There he is, brought to us by the Bet Park Sportsbook Online Casino app. Clean shaven.
Man, he looks good.
Looks like a movie star.
Hey, he got a little pink, little pastels on for the season, shaved up. He's back. The Brain's back.
What can I say, man? Saw, it's funny, I went last night. I'm not usually a big concert person, and I'm, by the way, like my taste in music, I'm stuck from like 80s
Like
on kind of thing, or 1980, you know. But I saw Foreigner.
Foreigner.
Really enjoyed it. Yeah, dude.
Oh, man.
They have a lot of hits, man.
Oh, yeah, dude. I mean, I'm a Foreigner fan. They got a ton of hits.
I don't know if you're playing with me or not, but I
am not.
like
Feels like the first time. Cold as ice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hot-blooded.
You know what's funny? Whenever I'm
waiting
struggling
for a girl
gambling,
like you.
You are stuck in the 80s, my
Jukebox
brother.
hero.
No, I am. But I got to tell you, cold as ice. Whenever I go through a bad gambling, first of all, if I had a voice like that, I would have been on stage last night. But I will say this: whenever I go through a bad gambling streak, I like play cold as ice like all the time. Like I just keep playing it, and I'm like, it's cold as and I like to torment myself.
I need that after yesterday. My games on the early slate went 0-4. Cold as ice.
Oh man,
yesterday.
Well, on the show we had a couple winners yesterday. I said Texas I thought could win outright, and they did. And Arizona I said thought would beat the cover the 2.5. I think they won by like 13 or something like that against Kansas. So we did hit the 2 we gave out yesterday, which was good.
Yeah. No, I like both of them. Arizona was.
I grabbed
great.
Arizona and I grabbed UConn late.
Yeah, Arizona.
UConn was a crazy one. They were down the entire way, then like blew out Nova. Nova was like one of those teams that always they weren't a 40-minute team, and they were just always like that kind of team to me that was good enough to hang around for a little bit, but obviously not their year.
How about Cooper? Cooper going down.
You know, it's funny. I mean, they still won the game, but Anthony, that's what we talked about. Like, do these coaches want to even win? Not that they don't want to ever lose. I wouldn't want to, but you see stuff like that, and I'm sure they're like, wow,
yourself.
That's a big deal. It's a big deal because you never know. Again, you never know when someone's going to get hurt. Obviously, I hope he's fine. You know, you want him healthy for the tournament. I hope, I really hope that he is. It would be a shame if somehow he wasn't healthy, considering how good Duke's been this year.
Yeah, we were watching my buddy Kevin, who you met yesterday.
Yeah,
he coaches with me in St. Margaret's. He's a big Duke guy because he went there.
Mm-hmm.
Kids, the whole thing. He's Mr. Duke, and he's got the game on to celebrate. Dude, Cooper Fly got her. What? I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Well, of course, my son was celebrating like he won like $20 million when Cooper Flag gets hurt. He's like, Dad, you hear the great news?
Versace was celebrating that?
He's a hatred for Duke, not a dislike, a hatred that I would put up there with. I don't think I've ever seen. He can't stand Duke.
Wow, that's a violation. Though, they to cure the injury.
Yeah,
I agree with that. He doesn't want to like hurt her, but he just doesn't want Duke to ever win anything at any time at any point of his life. So he takes it quite seriously.
All right. Well, what do we got today? Another full day
got a lot of things today,
basketball. Man. And this is where I think you really shine because you get a read on these teams as they go through the week and kind of their feel. I think you're really good.
Well, I hope so. And there definitely is some stuff that I like. You know what's interesting? I'm going to start off with the Illinois-Maryland game. Do you know Maryland has not lost since January 5th? They have not lost a game by more than one possession since January 5th, and they haven't lost a game all year by more than 6.
Wow.
This is a team that I think is under the radar. I think they're better than Illinois. The line, I got picked. You can still lay 1. Big deal. Same thing. I like Maryland laying 1. I think they're the better team. I think they're going to win the game, and I'm actually picking them to win the Big Ten. I think they will win the Big Ten tournament, and this is their first step to doing that. I like them quite a bit, laying 1. Next, similar kind of thing. Actually, it's funny. I actually have had a lot of Anthony. I told you, a team that to me I have a lot of respect for, but I'm going against today. I really respect what Louisville's done this year. They've turned around a situation where last year they were the laughing stock of college basketball. But Clemson's been my team this year. And teams that you always say, which team do I think is underrated? Clemson's that's my ride or die team. I think they're better than Louisville. I think they're the upgraded version from Louisville. It's around Pick'em, laying one most. I like Clemson here. I think Clemson's the better team. I think they win this game. And now I'm going to give you a couple underdogs. First, Tennessee's playing Texas. Now, Texas, third day in a row. I get it. And maybe I'm playing with a little bit of fire here. But I took 10.5 points just because I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
I still don't know if I see Tennessee as one of those teams that I just ever want to lay points with, even though they've obviously been better offensively this year than they have been in the past. I think Texas can keep it close, is maybe the better play, taking like 5.5 in the first half and not having to deal with the fatigue in the second half. Maybe, but I'm still going to just take. I took a pretty good number at 10.5, I think, with Texas. And last, look, Houston's a team. I am not as high on Houston as the rest of the world is. They're going to get the #1 seed. They've been really good. They win every single game. They win close. Every single time I watch this team, I never come away thinking, wow, this team's really good. That's just my opinion. I think BYU can win this game outright. They're getting 7.5. BYU, again, beat a team that I did respect in Iowa State yesterday. Good game. 2 straight games between those two teams.
I told you I like BYU.
18 3-pointers.
BYU. What's that?
BYU had 18 3-pointers.
Yeah, well, it's college basketball, dude. I mean, that happens. You know that, BJ. I mean, that's what happens in college basketball.
That might be a record.
A record 18?
I don't know. That was all over the news last night.
A record in college basketball is 18 threes in a game?
Let me see.
I find that impossible. I'm gonna ask you to look that one up. 18.
I'm looking it up.
I mean, 18 doesn't seem like a crazy number to me.
Maybe.
It's a nice number, but I don't think it's like the craziest thing I've ever heard. But I don't think Houston is that great of a team to be laying. And again, Dean they're going to get #1 seed either way. It's not easy to win these conference games by 8 points. And they're clearly going to get #1 seed. They could lose this game by 20. They're going to get #1 seed. I think BYU keeps the game close. I like the way BYU's playing. Those are my 4, best bets in terms of college basketball today.
Big 12 tournament record, 18. That's what it is.
Okay, Big 12 tournament record. Okay. Yeah. And I do lean Texas Tech over Arizona today. It's a lean. Haven't bet it yet. I do think Texas Tech beats Arizona. They almost blew it last night.
I know.
To Baylor. They were leaking oil at the end, but they did get home and win the game.
How about Kentucky?
I do think they're the better.
Wow. That was wild. They blew that lead. And then
they did.
The kid, what's the matter? You had the other side or whatever?
No. Kentucky's like going to be the end of me in this tournament bracket deal.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I like them, but they're so up and down.
Oh, they were up and down that game.
Mm-hmm.
Kids got to go coast to coast. And it was a great move, man. It was great.
It was. Look, again, I'm really been enjoying the college basketball. And again, as opposed to the NBA, which we talk about, but I have to give you a couple props. I do think I value in the NBA. Isaac Okoro, Cleveland Cavaliers. By the way, actually a good matchup tonight. Memphis, okay, playing at home against Cleveland. Cleveland has a 15-game winning streak. Memphis, up 1 game over Houston. Actually should be one of the rare good games in the NBA, depending if both teams rest all 12 of their players. But assuming that's not the case, Isaac Okoro under 7.5 points, 26 and 13 for the season. He's averaging 5.7. Isaac Okoro never been a scorer. I don't get this line. Love Isaac Okoro under 7.5 points. And then Anthony Edwards, one of your guys, right? Anthony Edwards. I know you did him for the movie.
I like the Ant-Man.
Yeah, like last 30 games, he's averaging 30. They made his over under 24.5 tonight. Don't get the reason why, but I'm playing over 24.5 for Anthony Edwards. Like that bet.
You got it. Oh, my brother, great stuff as always. Have a great
Anthony,
weekend.
VG, what are your guys' best college game today? Got to give it
real quick. I like George Mason today. they're always hot this time of year. They went from -2.5 to -4.5. I still like them. Quinnipiac, -4.5 versus Iona. And we got one local horse in the race. I got to go to Joe tonight. I think they're getting 1.5 versus Dayton. That's a thin line, so I think Joe might be able to win this one.
Joe's going to run.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. There you go. Brain, great stuff, buddy. Thank you, pal.
Appreciate you guys.
Here he
All right,
is,
Brady, have a
brought
good-
to us by the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. Let's talk about some of our friends. And then we got Baldy. Baldy. The great Baldy.
I was chomping on a log of pepperoni this morning waiting for this Baldy interview today.
Next time we hook up, I got the restaurant that's going to bring the steaks.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah,
All right.
I got the. They didn't. I didn't hook it up for the waiting for the guy to get back to me. All right.
All right.
But I got the place, and the steaks we'll have the steaks being delivered.
The Meat Connect.
Yes, the Meat Connect is we're hooked up.
That's the restaurant?
No.
Oh, I was like, that's a unusual name.
No, he's still not the Meat Connect. He's not.
Yeah. Taking my girl on a date to the Meat Connect.
I don't know if you want to go there.
Yeah,
No,
it'd be super weird as a restaurant.
Lamberti's. Lamberti's is the place going to
Oh,
hook us
yeah,
up.
yeah. I know that.
All right.
Oh, I have an interesting nug for you later on in the show, but I think you're going to find this one very odd.
Really?
It has to do with somebody that's in this room.
Really? All
Yeah.
right. All right. All right. Let's talk about some of our friends, and let's talk about the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. Look, today, all kinds of incredible college basketball. One game after another. These tournaments, the conference tournaments are fun. All right? They're a prelude to the NCAAs. You got wall-to-wall afternoon hoops. What better on a Friday afternoon to watch some basketball? Right? Like, it's, my man will be at the pub all weekend, right?
I will be.
Yeah.
You know it.
We're bellying up, watching some hoop.
Got to get in shape for the next weekend.
Yeah, well, next weekend's going to be the weekend, right? But don't sleep on the conference tournaments and all the great stuff that they have on the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino apps. On the app, you have all kinds of odds boosts and fun stuff, and you name it. So check it out. It'll be ready for next week when the tournament March Madness begins in for real. So check it out. Also, the casino, which they have live dealer blackjack, roulette, craps, you name it, baccarat. They have all the hot online slots. Betty the Yeti, is that right?
Yeah.
Cash
They added a
explosion.
new one yesterday. Whammy Wilds, a pressure luck whammy, the no whammy
yeah.
stop. Yeah, it's good.
The whammy?
Yeah.
All
I've
right.
seen the whammy guy. Yeah.
There you go. Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app is right there. You get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down the first 24 hours. You got to be in betparks.com is all the details. You got to be 21. You got to be in PA, New Jersey, Michigan, Maryland, Ohio. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Also, let's talk about Rothman. Yes, it's a Rothman Friday, Rothman Orthopedics.
Joey needs Rothman right now, dude. He
Yeah,
just
look,
he
he's
just
in
got
pain.
like Flexall delivered to the studio.
No, you didn't.
Yes,
You
he
did?
dude.
That's what you just did? Oh, my God. First of all, how nuts. I want Flexall.
Just delivered
Yeah.
in
What do
like
you
a
use
half
for
hour
that?
and a half hour.
What do you use for that? No, the
Was it
Flex. The
GoPuff?
order- Yeah.
No. How'd you get it delivered here? GoPuff? Uber Eats.
Uber Eats delivers
Eats
Flexall.
delivers Flexall.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That's not. This world's crazy. I wonder if Baldy needs. You know what? Baldy's got to talk about how he stays in shape.
Stretchy Tuesdays.
He does, man. He does the hot
He's doing
yoga.
headstands.
You got to do the hot yoga, dude. Like Baldy. You're 26. Yeah. Joints aching. There you go, Joey.
yeah.
Hands cramped, back out of whack. Joey. All right. Rothman's got you. I'm going to send you to Rothman. At Rothman Orthopedics, practicing specialized care has been their passion for over 50 years. Their mission, high quality, compassionate, affordable care rooted in research. Research leads to new treatments and better outcomes. Each Rothman doctor laser focused on their specialty: hip, knee, spine, elbow, shoulder. You name it, they have a team for each body part right here in your backyard. So you can cross over to defense. You can throw to your kid like I'm going to do today. All right. You can root for our teams like all the fans in the country. The Rothman Orthopedics, and they specialize in you. RothmanOrtho.com/PHLY to learn more and make an appointment today. This portion of the show presented by Rite Aid. RiteAid.com for the nearest store and pharmacy. All your allergy stuff starting to pop.
Yes, they are.
Here they are. All right. Now let's go to the lair All right. I loved it. I spent all day with him. Nothing better than hanging on my main man, the one, the only, Baldy.
Baldy. Oh, let's talk some football. Ay, Baldy. Oh, he likes meats and football.
Oh, Baldy. There he is.
Morning, cuz.
So,
how we doing?
I want to, before we start and get into it, the trick to longevity. All right? All right? Like, you are a man that defies, Father Time. I mean, you are. Yeah. You're in incredible shape. You have more energy than anybody I've met.
Just
all right,
a zest for life.
A zeal, a zest. Yeah. I mean, it's there. What's the Baldy? You need to. You're like a blue zone.
Well, I just hit the steam room. So I do this box breathing in the steam room for 10 minutes, and I do 1,000 crunches in the steam room. So, it was really hot in there today, but that takes 22 minutes. And then I jumped in the ocean. I went swimming in the ocean. So that was the start to the day. Now I have a cup of coffee. Then I'm going to go, get my exercise in. I think today is a good deadlift day. So, I feel like there's just one exercise that you could do. Like if I was in prison and they would only let me do one exercise, I would do deadlifts. So really? I feel like deadlift gets your whole core.
Because the deadlift incorporates everything, right?
Everything. It gets your traps, it gets your core, it gets your legs, it gets your big, it gets all your big muscle groups.
Right.
So it hits all of that. But hopefully I'm not going to be in prison anytime soon. But so today's a deadlift day.
Today's deadlift. How many days a week do you lift?
Nah, I usually do like 3 or 4 days. 3 or 4 days. And I got back into hot yoga. So I did that 4 days last week. I'm in Florida. I'm in the steam room every morning. So I always do 1,000 to 1,200 crunches
in the steam room.
Yeah. Yeah. And then just to get a really good sweat, then jump in the ocean, go swimming in the ocean for a little while. It's real calm today. You could swim a mile today easy.
And you do your breathing exercise. That helps your dive, your free diving.
I'm
leaving to go to the Bahamas today. So I'm going diving, but I don't want to be a wuss and just be down there for 45 seconds. I got to be able to get to 1 minute and 15. I'm not going to see enough down there. So I'm really working on my breathing.
Can you demonstrate quickly or tell us what the box breathing is?
Well, it's just it's you breathe in real deep, take it all in, let it out for like a 6 count. So you hold it. You breathe in for 6, hold it for 6, and breathe out for 6.
Okay.
You do 30 at a time. Do 30 times. You start to get a little. If you get to the point where you're hallucinating a little bit, you're doing it right.
Wow.
Baldy, is there a reason you don't want to use an oxygen tank and go down for longer periods of time?
I'm scuba certified. I could do that. And I might do a couple trips like that, but I'm really into the whole free diving thing. It's just so natural. There's really, you're not encumbered by anything. You just got a mask and your flippers and that's it. It's like you feel like you're really, I don't want to sound weird, but you feel like you're really with one underneath the surface.
That makes sense. You're one with the fish.
Yeah. Or with whatever else. Life. I mean, there's all kinds of, sea life down there. You never know what you're going to see. Moray eels, it's the Bahamas. The water is so pure and it's so clean and there's so much reef life. You don't really know what you're going to see.
Yeah. The Moray eel. He uses artificial intelligence to help fill out his roster.
Do you know what? Have you ever seen what a moray eel looks like?
No, just a Daryl Morey. That's it.
Well, they breathe with their mouth open, so you feel like they're attacking you because you see these tremendous fangs in these moray eels, but that's just the way that they breathe.
Wow.
So they're not really. They're just in these holes, just buried in these holes. But when they come out, like it can be kind of intimidating when they come after. If they come after you, there you go.
Wow.
There's a moray. Nice. Yeah, they're beautiful.
Oh my God, they have those kinds of colors.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like they swim like a ribbon. Like their bodies can be pretty thick, but they're like a ribbon going through the water. It's pretty cool to see. But they're all different colors. Yeah, you can see some of them are spotted, some are really that green. But you can see when their mouth is open, you can see like their teeth. Their teeth are pretty gnarly.
And you're in Florida, like you see them in Florida?
You can see them in Florida, but you're going to see them. I'm going to see them all over the Bahamas.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's a very rich sea life down there. So I'm anxious. You're going to see all kinds of crustaceans, your lobsters and all that, your shrimps. You can see all that stuff. But you're going to see these reef lionfish will be all over these reefs. It's going to be pretty wild.
You ever see like these markets, these Asian seafood markets?
Yes.
And they're like
they got these eels in there.
They and all kinds of crustaceans, like things that look like aliens.
Yeah.
Like weird
There's a lionfish right there.
Yeah.
You see that lionfish?
Yeah.
Like those things, like they're really good tasting. They're really good to eat, but
really
they'll kill anything. They eat everything. So they actually want you to eat those lionfish and take them because they're like so destructive.
And they're tasty? How do you do it?
Yeah. Like
what do you do? Just grill it? A little olive oil?
You got to clean them up pretty good.
Yeah.
There's a lot to clean there.
Look at that. That's Baldy, man.
Baldy Cousteau.
I love it. Baldy Cousteau.
That was my favorite. Like growing up, that was my favorite show.
Yeah.
Jacques Cousteau, and like those specials would come on. Like I never missed one of those specials back in the day. I would love to be. I would love to be on the Cousteau, like doing some of this, some of this research that they were doing.
I got more interest in the ocean than space. I'm not a space guy.
I'm not a space guy at all.
I like the ocean.
But today is an interesting day because you know what today is, right?
Pi Day.
Today's the lunar eclipse. So today you're going to see a blood moon today.
Big red
moon.
The
red moon. Yes.
Tonight.
Yeah, today's going to be a blood moon because between the sun, the moon, and the earth, the moon is going to pass into the shadows of the earth, and it's going to reflect the sun. So when the moon comes up full today, it's going to be a blood moon. It's going to look red.
Wow.
So, yeah, there you go.
That's awesome. You're quick today, Andrew. Great job. The blood moon.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's how in the world could you say there's no God? Right? I just don't understand it when you see stuff like that.
Yeah, it's going to look tremendous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see that blood moon coming up in the Bahamas tonight.
Oh my God, dude, that's awesome. Yeah, that's going to be great.
Yeah.
Let's put to bed first week of free agency.
All right.
And some of the moves that Baldy likes. We'll start with the Eagles and, kind of assess kind of where they're at after the first week.
Well, I got to tell you, like, I remember going to Green Bay a couple of years ago. The Jets were scrimmaging Green Bay. So I was up there, and it's the first time I saw A.J. Dillon. Like, he looks like an offensive guard from the waist down.
Yeah.
Like, he is a big, and they lost Kenneth Gainwell. People didn't think it was a big deal. I thought Kenneth Gainwell, look, I just don't think Saquon needs to put on 400 carries, 400 touches next year. You're going to need somebody to take a little bit of the load off. I thought signing A.J. Dillon, now he got hurt last year, but I thought signing A.J. Dillon was a good signing.
He can catch the ball out of the backfield too.
What's that?
He can catch the ball too.
He's got good hands. He's a good back. He's a good running back. He's still young. I thought that was good. I thought, I couldn't really understand getting rid of Kenny Pickett, but if you had, I thought that was a decent move. Mekhi Becton is still there. Like, it doesn't sound like they want to sign him. I like him way more than Kenyon Green. Kenyon Green's been injured quite a bit, but he's a big guy. But Mekhi Becton was an awesome. Like, I hope they find a way to sign him, honestly. I know they have Tyler Steen. I know they traded for Kenyon Green, but like, I still think Mekhi Becton would be a good signing.
Yeah, I just think they think he's going to get paid. I think he's a little disappointed after the first week that the big, 10 a year didn't happen, but there's still, I'm shocked that he still hasn't gotten a decent offer, man, because, he was a road grader.
He was absolutely awesome last year. It's exactly what Lane Johnson wanted. He wanted a big earth mover next to him. That's what he wanted. He didn't want an undersized guard next to him. He wanted an earth mover, and that's what they got. And he played like you can't. Honestly, I can't remember Mekhi Becton getting beat in pass protection. I can't remember it. Like, he was so solid. It's hard to find that type of performance. Like, I know he came out of a couple games last year. It's gonna be hard to find that kind of performance from anybody playing that position next year.
I'm with you. And here's the thing, though. Like, with Kenyon Green, is you got Stoutland, right? So you're going to Stoutland it kind of makes sense because we were talking about the Cowboys, and I'll bring this up to you in a minute. But, like, the Eagles develop players, and a lot has to do with their D-line, their O-line, their D-line. Like, they develop guys. So it's an advantage that you got a guy like Green, who was a disappointment so far, but now he's going to go to the Stoutland and he could be rehabbed.
It's interesting you say that because there's no question that will happen, and we'll probably see the very best of Kenyon. He came out of Texas A&M like 4 years ago, whatever. Big kid, big Texas kid. But you're right. But I was saying, like, there is Stoutland which is offensive line rehab, and then there's quarterback rehab, and you could take Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold. You could take a number of different quarterbacks. And if you send them to quarterback rehab, which is Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, Kevin O'Connell, you almost guarantee that your quarterback is going to play better. Like Daniel Jones is a flawed quarterback. He does not process information well. But he spent like 8 weeks with Kevin O'Connell. Like, it won't surprise me to see him play well in Indy. Like, Baker Mayfield was a disaster in Carolina. We know that. He went with Matt. Like, it didn't work out. Like, it was just, he got signed late. Yeah, he spent like he went to Sean McVay, went to the Rams, started. Like, got traded on a Tuesday, started on a Sunday, played great. Like, he's been rehabbed. Like, he's in great shape right now. Sam Darnold got rehabbed. He got a $100 million contract. Nobody could have predicted this. But he spent a year with Kyle Shanahan, then a year with Kevin O'Connell, and now he's a $100 million man in Seattle. It's crazy. But, like, that's how important coaching is in the NFL. It's crazy. Like, Clinton Hurt's a good defense line coach.
Yeah.
Like, anybody that goes there, you watch what happens to some of these guys that come here and how they develop.
Yeah. No, I'm completely with you. Now, the reverse is you look at the Cowboys. Now, can you explain what the Cowboys are doing? Miles Sanders?
No.
I mean, they're still going to draft him back, I presume, but like DeMarcus Lawrence is mocking him. I mean, it's bad.
Honestly, if you can't in today's world, I'm going to take a shot here at Jerry and his sons. But if you can't figure out the salary cap, and they can't, like, how is Micah Parsons not signed? He's the best pure pass rusher in his whole business, and he's unsigned. Like, how do you get to this point? How do you sign Zeke Elliott before you signed the quarterback. Like, that was a disaster. How are you signing low-level free agents? Like they signed 2 former number 1 picks, Kenneth Murray. That guy has no idea where the ball's going. But he was a first-round pick. But, like, he has no idea how to find the football. Like, the guys they signed, like, I just don't understand it. Like, is anybody doing their homework over there? And then, like, to be in salary cap hell, like, it's like Washington just jumped right past them. Philadelphia is – do you remember there was a period, it was either the Eagles or Cowboys winning the division.
Yeah.
Like, it was back and forth. Like, that's over.
You know what's nuts, too?
I can't explain what they're doing.
Like, they traded for that receiver last year from Carolina, and like that made that, like, what kind of move was that? Like,
Deontay Johnson. No, it was terrible. Like, I don't know what they're doing. I honestly don't know what they're doing. Jerry was like, we like our roster. Really? Like, I mean, every guy they sign, they end up releasing. So, but even like, and then, DeMarcus Lawrence, look, I'm happy he got a contract, but he has not been he plays hard, plays the game the right way, but he has not been a productive player the last couple of seasons.
No, not at all. Jonathan Mingo was the guy they got. And I was like, what? Okay. Bizarre. Who are
I don't think he got a touchdown pass.
No. I mean, and they were like, well, it's a move for next year. All right. Like, I don't say, no, it's great. Now you're the Giants and you're sitting there going, I'm waiting for Rodgers. It's a show. Waiting for Guffman, waiting for Rodgers. And you're at the whim of this nut, right? That you got to figure out. You got no quarterback. It's unbelievable.
I mean, they signed Paulson Adebo and they signed Javon Holland. Those are good signings. Those are 2 really good players. Defensively, I think they're going to be okay. They signed 2 defensive linemen. I think they signed Golston from Dallas, who's actually a pretty good player. But it is bizarre. I can't remember. Like, they have Tommy DeVito, okay? This is the only quarterback on the roster. Now, nobody's in anybody's facility right now, so it's not that big of a deal. But to not have a quarterback that you're, like, literally teaching a playbook to at this point, like, you're going to wait on either the college draft or one of these quarterbacks to shake loose. And these quarterbacks are in no rush. Russell Wilson's visiting Cleveland. He's talking to these different teams. Like, basically, these quarterbacks are interviewing you. Free agency, like, the money that just flew out the door is ridiculous. Like, even Milton Williams getting $80 million. Like, I don't get it. But like, if you want to overpay for a player, go overpay for a player. That's fine. Like, I'm happy for him. That's free agency. But, like, to not have a quarterback, like, they really thought they were going to get Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford was using the Giants just as a way to stay in L.A. and to get a contract is what he did. But, like, honestly, it looks embarrassing. It looks terrible. Like, last year was the 100th anniversary of the Giants. 1925, they came into this league, right? It was the 100th year anniversary of the New York Giants. It was a disaster. 3 wins. It was terrible. Your quarterback gets released in the middle of the season, presumably because you had a plan to get a quarterback. Well, Stafford, just burned you at the stake. Like, it's just, I don't know what they don't know. They don't know what they're doing. It's hard. That soundbite that keeps going out there between John Mara, and Joe Shane about Saquon. Like, it's just, like, they're never going to live that down.
No. I mean, think about it. The Giants and the Cowboys. This is our heaven. Did we wake up in heaven, VG?
It feels like it.
This is heaven. Football heaven, Baldy.
But how are the Commanders? Like, I haven't paid attention to a ton of their moves. Like, have they strengthened themselves?
No, they did a good job. Adam Peters knows what he's doing. He got himself Laramie Tunsil, got himself a big-time left tackle. No, he commits too many penalties, but he's a good player. like just give Debo Samuel to Cliff Kingsbury, and you'll see formations, motions, movement that other teams would never even think of. But Cliff will be creative with Debo. They did, they signed Marshawn Lattimore during the season. He's got the whole offseason to learn their defense. So I think they're in pretty good shape, honestly. They re-signed Zach Ertz. Frankie Luvo was an unbelievable signing at linebacker last year for him. They re-signed Bobby Wagner. Like they're in pretty good shape. Pretty good shape right now.
Yeah, it's a 2-team division. It really
no,
is.
But honestly, the Giants, it's just like it's absolutely bizarre. Like they're waiting. Like if Russell Wilson goes to Cleveland, which he could easily do, I don't think it's going to be about money. It's going to be about opportunity. Like even Pittsburgh needs a quarterback, but they just signed back Mason Rudolph, who knows the offense. Like Mason Rudolph can at least line up and play. All right, he's not terrible. He's not going to win you a Super Bowl, but he can line up and win you games. Like the Giants don't even have that.
No. No.
It's horrible.
No, it is. Well, we're lucky because we have a quarterback on the line, Baldy.
I see Kyle McCord right there.
You see him?
You see him? Straight out of Mount Laurel, New Jersey.
Right?
Kyle, how far are you from NFL Films?
Let's welcome the great Kyle McCord. We love this kid. Kyle! What do you say,
What's
my
up?
brother?
How's it going?
What's going on, buddy?
Nothing much. I just got back up to school. I got the pro day on Monday, so getting ready for that now.
Oh, that's fantastic. You got Baldy? Can you put the three of us up? He's going to put all three. Here we go.
What's up, Kyle?
How are you?
Good seeing you, buddy.
I
was just telling, I just had, so Kyle, real quick, I just had Anthony over at NFL Films, I would say Friday, maybe Wednesday. We were all over there. And I was like, if you want to watch a great game, again, because he watches every game, go watch Syracuse, Miami. Like down 21-0, Kyle. Like that game, like just watching it on coach's tape was still entertaining to me. And watching you bring the Orangemen back in that game, that had to be a big day for you. Like just, in all the games that you played, your whole career, Ohio State, Syracuse, whatever, that had to be a big day for you.
Yeah, and that was fun. It was a great way to end off the season. And then that put us in a position to get 10 wins with our bowl game too, which hasn't happened around here in a while. And so I've never been on the right side of the fans storming the field every time the fans storm the field because we lost at Ohio State. So to finish the regular season out like that and knock off a top 10 team down 21, it was pretty sweet.
Well, let's go back. Let's begin with your whole journey. What's this whole thing been like for you? Coming out of the prep, which we love, right? And then the whole Ohio State thing, and then Syracuse. And what I love about you, besides your ability, is you're such a pro. Like you just go in and you just play quarterback. You don't get lost in all the nonsense and everything else. What's it been like for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a wild ride. Like you said, went to prep, which was a little bit of a culture shock for me growing up and going to public school and then wearing a sports coat and, tying your tie every day in the morning. So it was definitely a little bit of a culture shock. But I mean, it's been crazy to see where football has taken me, and obviously wild ride in college, going from Ohio State to Syracuse. But I feel like going through that and handling that adversity definitely prepared me for this next level, because I mean there's never been a great player that hasn't gone through adversity, so to go through that at that point in my career I think has definitely prepared me for this next step that I'm about to embark in.
Refresh me here, Kyle, because I know you and Marvin Harrison were at the prep together, right? Did you come out the same year, or is he a year older?
No, we're in the same class.
Class, right?
Yeah, it was a little
you go
unfair.
to Ohio State together.
Yeah.
So, like, were you like roommates at Ohio State? Did you?
Yep.
You were?
Yeah, all that. So, I mean, we pretty much spent so we went to our rival school. We went to LaSalle our freshman year.
Yep.
And my first memory of Marvin, we were playing them. He started as a freshman at LaSalle. I didn't start, and I'm on the sideline. They had the ball, I think, at the 10-yard line. Like I'm sure go find the clip somewhere. But they threw an interception in the end zone. And our safety, who ended up going D1, picked the ball when he's run down the sideline. It's gonna be like a 105-yard pick six. And Marvin from the other side of the field, kind of like the DK Metcalf clip from against the Cardinals, tracked him down right in front of me. I said, damn. Like, that was my first impression of him. And then fast forward a few months later, he ended up transferring to the prep with me. So we spent 6 years together, 3 in high school, 3 in college.
Wow.
So that's a really close friend of mine.
That's awesome. That's a great story. What did you learn from Ohio State and the whole situation?
I mean, Ohio State is about as close as an NFL organization as you can get at the college level, just in terms of expectation and the talent you're around in practice and just the whole operation. I mean, it's pretty much an NFL program. And so going through that, and to be honest, that was really the first big adversity that I've had to face leaving Ohio State. And so, I'm extremely thankful for my 3 years there, and I feel like I obviously got a lot better in my time there. And I don't think I would have had the year I had last year if it wasn't for everything that I learned at Ohio State. So, definitely not the way when you first get there, you envision it going. But I'm super thankful that it played out the way it did.
Well, I mean,
guys,
how about that year? Baldy,
Joe Burrow.
How about that year, right?
Processing.
I mean, the year that he had at Syracuse, my God, Baldy, you went in and you were like, listen, I'm going to go in and I'm going to show them what I got, and we're going to win games, and our offense is going to move. And I loved your attitude, man. You had a great attitude for the whole thing. It felt like you enjoyed yourself too.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, especially when you're going in each game, though, and you're going to throw it at least 40 times. It's fun. I mean, the success of the offense kind of relies on your shoulders. And so it was a big responsibility carrying that week in and week out, but it was fun. I mean, going in knowing that we were going to air it out and test the defense regardless of who we were playing, and had some great talent around me and great coaches. So it was a fun year. And then being from the East Coast, kind of putting Syracuse back on the map and getting a 10-win season, finishing top 25, all that. It was rewarding.
Tell us a little bit, Kyle, right now, like the process that you're in. Like I'm heading to a bunch of pro days for the NFL right now, Kyle. Like I'm going to see Cam Ward next week at Miami. I'm going to go out to Colorado, Penn State. So did you already have your pro day?
Coming up on Monday.
Coming up Monday, right? So
yeah.
That's a big deal. Tell us a little bit about the preparation for that, Kyle, what your anticipation of that day is going to be like. I know you're at the Combine, but tell us a little bit about the preparation for these pro days, what you anticipate, what you want to show that you haven't already shown.
Yeah, I think obviously went through the All-Star Game circuit at the Shrine Bowl. Felt like I did a good job there. Went through the Combine, felt like I did a good job there. So I think it's just continuing to stack good showings, and whether it's in a game setting like the All-Star Game was, and you're doing 11-on-11 practices, or the Combine where you're throwing to guys you don't know. So now I think, you're familiar with the receivers, and I just want to let it rip and, show that I can make every throw, do some under the center stuff, which obviously at the college level, it's far and between now, and not a lot of guys are under center too much. So doing some, 5-step, 7-step drops from under center and just showing my versatility as a quarterback.
What was the Combine experience like for you? And what was the craziest questions? Like, I know you're spending hours and they're just probing it. What was it like for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think people see what happens on TV, just the workout, but they don't know you're there for 5 whole days, going through interviews and media and medical stuff. Like, it's definitely a long week and it's a grind, but the workout's definitely the most fun part of it. Probably the craziest, I wouldn't say question, but the craziest interview I had, I sat down with one team and they pulled up my film. And the first play was a misread. I had a guy open in the flat and I tried to force it downfield. And so I'm like, all right. And so, it was like, yeah, I should have thrown in the flat. Next play, interception. And I'm like, okay, I think I see where this is going. And then they go to the third play, another interception. So it was funny. I mean, as much as you would like to watch the highlights, I definitely think that, teams are going to try to see how you react when they're pulling up your low lights. So it was funny. And then as soon as the meeting ended, they're like, oh, great job. We love that. And so it's funny just kind of seeing the different teams' approaches in those interviews.
Yeah, because they're like little minefields, it's like,
yeah.
let me try to get under his skin and let me see how he reacts to it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't, that's brilliant. Listen, that's the way you're supposed to handle it, which is, I should have made this read here. I know my mistake. I'm not going to make that mistake happen again.
Yeah, no, they definitely, some of the teams, they try to set you up. Like I threw a boneheaded interception. Like it was nobody's fault except mine. And they're like, it's probably on the receiver, don't you think? Like he could have taken it a little higher. He could have caught that and fought for the ball. And I'm like, nah, like shouldn't even thrown it. So it was funny just to kind of see, the.
Oh,
did we lose him?
Yeah, hang tight, Baldy. We'll get him right back.
Yeah, here he goes.
There we go.
Yeah,
you're good, Kyle.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, no, but they definitely try to set you up and see if you'll throw any of your teammates under the bus. Which I mean, that's never the right move.
What's funny about that, Kyle? That story is I remember when Matt Ryan came out of Boston College. He threw like 19 interceptions his last year at Boston College.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I was back then. He was obviously high pick of the Falcons and turned the whole franchise around. But I remember I was doing his preseason games in Atlanta, and so, anyways, I'm like in the gym one day. I got the game at night, and it's a Boston College game, like against Clemson or something. And he threw this interception in the end zone, right? So, anyways, I see him on the field later that day, and I go, Matt, I was just watching you on ESPN, classic game and everything. He goes, oh yeah. He goes, which one? I go, it's against Clemson. He goes, well, they showed that interception in the end zone. I go, like, it's unbelievable how that you remember those plays. It's almost like you remember the bad ones as much as you remember all the good ones, like the bad throw. Like it never really leaves you, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that was one thing too. Like as a young guy, I feel like as bad as it is, like the best way to learn is to make that mistake. Like the best way to learn is to, try to force a hole shot against cover 2 and get picked off by the safety to know, like, you can't throw that late. And I feel like when you make that mistake, it's like, okay, like you kind of know your boundaries. And so the mistakes definitely last with you. And, but as long as you learn from them and you don't make the same mistake twice, I feel like there's positive in it.
How much chalk stuff did they do with you at the combine?
A good amount. A lot of the teams, kind of how they would set up their interviews. They would start out by installing one of their plays and their terminology, going through the read, the footwork, the progression, the protection, all that. And then you go through the whole meeting, whether it's 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever it is. And now they're starting to do Zooms, which are an hour. And so they go through watching some of their film, some of your film, you're talking through your plays and your protections. And at the very end of the meeting, they're like, okay, draw up that play that we installed to you. So just having that recall and, definitely take some practice beforehand. So that's what I was doing with my quarterback coach, Jordan Palmer, going through some of that mock interview stuff. But yeah, I mean, they definitely try to put you on the spot.
What's it like working with Jordan? Because he's obviously worked with a lot of guys like yourself here, Kyle, coming out of college. Like he's one of the gurus out there. Like, what have you learned from Jordan right here in this process?
He's been great. So I met him at the Elite 11 going into my senior year. So I was young, and then we kind of just stayed in contact all throughout school, all throughout college. And then around this time last year, going into my year at Syracuse, he hit me up and he was like, I'd love to do a year-long program with you. I feel like, obviously you had a good year at Ohio State, but we can take it to the next level. So I did that, went out and worked out with him a bunch. And then just throughout the season, he would break down all my film and just kind of give me reminders and stuff to think about. And so I owe a lot of my success last year to the work that we put in with him, and obviously carrying it over the draft process. It's like the more you're around him, the more you realize there's so much football to know. And so just diving down, kind of nerding out over the mechanics and the details of, the physical part of playing quarterback, but then also the mental part. I mean, he's been around a lot of high level football, high level guys. And so, just being around him, you have no option but to just soak up a lot of information.
When did you know that this is for you? And your father, Derek, is what a great guy and great athlete himself. And I know, I can only imagine how often that you guys worked together as when you were a kid. When did you see this path?
I always loved football. Like I grew up a huge NFL fan, even when I was young. So this was always my dream and my goal. But I would say probably 7th grade, I knew that I'd have a chance to be pretty good. I went to a University of Michigan camp, like a quarterback camp, as a 7th grader, and kind of snuck around the rules. It was just for high school kids. And, I finessed my way in there as a 13, 14-year-old, whatever I was. And you're throwing around all, high recruited 4-star, 5-star guys. And, I was holding my own, throwing with them. So from a young age, I knew I was going to be pretty good. And then, once you kind of get a little bit of a sense that you'll be good, I think it makes you want to go even harder, knowing that you're going to have an opportunity to play.
Kyle, I'm curious. I mean, you were there with CJ Stroud, and CJ hit the ground running in the NFL, like right away. We saw it. And the thing that, and this is a difficult thing, because I don't know how, as an analyst, we can get inside your head and inside the football brain of a quarterback. But it's all about processing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how quickly you can process. Everybody wants the arm. Everybody wants the physical stature. You have all that. But I'm curious about how you become a processor. Like Brock Purdy had it. They didn't know it. That's why he was a 7th-round pick. But how do you establish that? Is it just by doing it, Kyle? Is it something that you actually can get better at? Because the one thing that CJ, Jaden did this year, they hit the NFL field running, being able to process. And it's just a fascinating thing to anybody that's trying to evaluate quarterbacks. Can they do this, or are they going to struggle with this?
Yeah, no, 100%. And being behind CJ for 2 years was awesome, and he was very open with his process throughout the week and how he'd prepare, and, how he read certain plays against certain coverages. And I think, in my opinion, his best trait is just the ability to see the whole field. And he's had that talent since, I got there, and he was, going to his 2nd year of college. But, for me, I think just seeing him being able to see everything, see both safeties, see the corner, read body language, I think that was one thing that was really impressive to me. And, just being under him, like, the one thing I realized is, like, on paper, it's not always perfect, and, a certain route shouldn't always work versus certain coverage. But, if you have leverage, or, guy's body language is telling him, he's going to be open, being able to just, trust your eyes and rip it. So that was one thing that I really admired about his game, is just being able to trust his eyes and go out and, just, play free and just rip the ball and trust what you see.
When did you start breaking down film? Like your assessment of the game, like Baldy, I mean, you listen to him talk, you watch him play, it's next level, right? When did you start to really nerd out over the X's and O's and really dive into film?
I would say probably high school. Middle school, you're really playing because it's just fun, and you're not really watching film throughout the week. And then high school, you slowly, become more adapted to watching film throughout the week. And then once I became the starter my sophomore year, that's really when I started to kind of nerd out over it and try to get a head start over the defenses you're playing. That way you can play a step ahead. And then, kind of by trial and error too. Like, you don't want to watch too much film. Like, I went to the Manning camp this summer, and Peyton Manning, so that was one thing he did his rookie years. He just watched too much film, and he got on the field, he was overanalyzing everything. So just knowing what you need to watch. And then at the same time, knowing that when you step on the field, like, you just have to, like I was just saying, just trust your eyes and trust your instinct and let it rip. And so just having that balance. And so I think, my first year, you kind of were learned by trial and error. And then this last year, you know exactly what you need to do throughout the week to get your mind ready.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I'm fascinated by it. Like, your advancement is so interesting. I told you before. So my little one is in 6th grade, and he's got monster hair. He works out with a prep ball, right? Because Charlie, this is what I love, Baldy. So Charlie Falk, who is the quarterback at the prep now, Kyle mentored him. Like, Charlie talks about Kyle, like, oh my God, like, and then I'm watching Charlie with Massimo, and like, that thing that you guys had at the prep, and I think just as a quarterback thing, is special. Like, that kid looks up to you, and you showed him such great love and respect.
Yeah, no, I definitely see a lot of myself in him, because I mean, he started as a sophomore this year, and went on to win a state title. And so being kind of a younger guy with a lot of talent, and you know how it is playing at the prep, like, there's a lot of expectation. And so it's definitely cool kind of seeing the next generation and a little bit of a reflection of yourself taking over.
So what's from now to the draft? What's your life going to be like?
A lot of meetings, still doing some, pro day prep these next few days, going over the script with the guys. And then after pro day, it's pretty much, meeting with, any team that, wants to hop on a Zoom or come visit me and do private workouts and stuff like that. And then just training, obviously it's a little bit of a weird time because you're not on a team. Like you don't necessarily know, what scheme you'll be in and, who you'll be throwing to. So just getting ready. And then that way, when you do know and you get that call come the draft, you can hit the ground running.
Do you pay attention to any of the draft stuff? Like, especially today, it's ridiculous. It's all over the place, right?
Yeah.
And this guy, that guy, he's projected in this round. Do you just completely shut all that out?
I mean, I'm the one getting drafted and I have no idea where I'm going. So it's like, how can anybody else have a better idea of this? So, it's kind of impossible not to see it. Your buddies saying, "Oh, that guy, you going in this round of this team." It's like, I have no idea where I'm going. So, I don't put too much stock into that at all now.
Yeah, good.
I kind of hope, Kyle, no matter where you go, I kind of hope that you get like a real redshirt year.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like we see guys, a Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels, every once in a while, a guy just CJ. I almost feel like just knowing Patrick Mahomes and the fact that you got a chance to sit the whole first year and just absorb it, see it, because the playbook is so different, Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see, even if you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, they're going to give you a 2-high shell every play, and you're not going to know what the coverage is to the snap. Like just the difference at the NFL level and how big the playbook can be. I almost feel like every young quarterback should get that chance just to watch and learn. I hope that kind of happens for you.
Yeah. All the teams, one of the questions that they've been asking is like, what's one thing that we could do to really help you? And for me, my answer has always just been, pair me up with a really cool vet. That's the biggest thing. And, even being around some of the guys that Jordan's worked with that have been in the league for a while, just picking their brain. Like I could sit there and talk for hours and just have a million questions. So being paired up with someone like that would be, pretty good for me, I think, in my career.
What was the role of Dad in this whole process?
Growing up all the way up until 8th grade, he was the quarterback coach. And then once I got to college, he more so turned into a fan. And, I obviously went to the prep, had great coaches, worked with Phil Sims and Matt Sims in high school. And then obviously once you get to college, kind of the same thing, working with great coaches. And so he's definitely a fan, but he'll still get on me every now and then, just telling me to speed my feet up or, something like that. So as much as, he wants to just, relax and watch the games, there's a part of him that will never let him just kind of chill out and take a back seat.
You can't. So proud of you, and rightly so. And listen, as another father, I can relate to him. All those moments of watching you, right? Like through all your stages of growth to now being ready to be drafted. But he's in his mind, you're still that kid in 6th grade, and you're in the backyard and you're throwing a football around. He's showing you what to do, which is beautiful,
Yeah. Exactly. All those, 3-step and 5-step drops under center in the backyard when I was like in 1st or 2nd grade is paying off. So I know he's happy about that.
Yeah, that's awesome. My brother, listen, we are rooting for you. All right. We are proud of you. And we'll be checking in time to time before the draft. But man, we're really proud of you, buddy.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that. We need
Kyle, enjoy the whole process. And it's all it's a 4-month thing leading up to the end of April. So you're right in the middle of it right here. So just, have a great day. Enjoy Monday. Enjoy seeing, all the different familiar faces that you're going to see out there. Who knows? Maybe even Chip Kelly and Ryan Day. Maybe they'll be out there on Monday. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I appreciate it. Thank you guys. It's fun.
Yeah.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks, Kyle.
We'll be in touch.
See ya.
There he
Sounds
is.
good.
Kyle McCord. What a kid. Great kid, man.
Yeah. That was cool.
Polished,
very.
Like you could see, like, you know, there is a quarterback. Baldy, quarterbacks now are so advanced. This was one of the point I was trying to make. Like, there's like, you remember, like, go back to when you were a rookie with the Cowboys, right? Like the level of study. I mean, you guys weren't studying like this.
No. We were playing ping pong at night. You know, we weren't, you know, like the playbook. I mean, you know, it was 6 weeks of training camp. So at some point, like you either learn the playbook or you don't. But like at night in training camp, like we were just out there having fun. It was just a big fraternity.
Yeah.
So it's quite a bit different now. But Kyle, he's like these Elite 11, Manning camp, you know, like St. Joe's prep. Like everybody that's a good player right now plays up. Like you grew up in Mount Laurel, you're not going to, you know, Eastern High School. You're going to the prep and you're playing against other elite programs, St. John's Bosco, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like everybody plays up now. Like you're not playing against guys that, you know, aren't never going to play college football in high school right now. You're going to these programs now. So everything is preparing you for the next level.
Yeah. It's wild. I love it. I love that whole world. You know I do.
I know you can.
I love that whole world, man. It's the best.
You know what's interesting though? Like honestly, like nobody thinks this is a good draft for quarterbacks. Like they just don't think Jaden Daniels or CJ is in this draft, and maybe they aren't. But when you talk to Kyle McCord, you're like, why can't he be successful?
Right.
What doesn't he have that leads to quarterback success? You know, like the background, the adversity, the big time games. Like, why can't he be successful? I don't care what round he gets drafted in. Jalen was the 53rd pick. Brock Purdy was a Mr. Irrelevant. Why can't Kyle McCord be successful? Like, I don't
know what you really don't like about him. Like, he could spin it, right? He's got good size. I don't know. I mean, you know, you're right. I was thinking the same thing. If he goes to the right situation with the right coach, the right system, without a doubt, he could start in this league.
Yeah. No, I mean,
I'm with you.
I mean, it's just a matter of getting the opportunity and you know, and being with the right. I mean, coaches can screw you up in this business at this level, big time. And so that's why these guys have to almost wash out sometimes, like Justin Fields or Sam Darnold or Baker. You almost have to wash out and get another chance, and hopefully you get another chance.
Yeah. He's got a great head on his shoulder.
Like I've seen guys that were just, you know, overdrafted, Joey Harrington, like they just didn't get it. Like this kid gets it, you know? And so whatever round, I don't care what round he gets in. Like I think Mason Rudolph just got re-signed by Pittsburgh. He was a 3rd round pick at Oklahoma State. Like he's still in the league. You know, Will Levis, like he's going to wash out. I don't know, maybe he gets another chance. But there's something about that Will Levis that I never liked. I don't care how far you can throw a football. It has nothing to do with playing quarterback. Yeah. He seemed to be in love with that. They could throw a football, you know, 80 yards.
Yeah. No, you're right. All right, brother, listen, go enjoy the sun. Go enjoy the Bahamas. Yes. All right? It's going to be fun.
All right. I'll catch up with you next week then, cuz I'll give you the shark report.
Love it. Love it. They're great. Ball.
All right, guys.
That's fantastic.
We got to get the theme music for Jacques Cousteau.
Oh, I like that. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. All right, let's talk about some of our friends. Coming up, we got our man TV Todd on the way. A lot of always fun stuff. We always go overtime on Friday, and you know we are always on YouTube for the whole time. Make sure you subscribe to us. We really appreciate that. It helps us. Let's talk about the fabulous, and I mean fabulous, Golden Nugget Jewelers. Like I tell you all the time about having a jeweler. You need a jeweler. Now, luckily, you know me, and then I have one, and I passed your own on to you.
Yep. Helping me with the sapphire.
You're getting the sapphire, right?
Replacement for a gemstone that fell out of a ring. Yeah.
Your girl.
Your Rome's going to hook us
up.
up.
Your beautiful wife.
Yeah.
You're getting hooked up. You know, I told Joey, right? Like at some point. Andrew, at some point. You're going to need jewelers, right? You want to get married.
Andrew needs one now. His mom probably likes jewelry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, get mom a
need
little
one now?
bracelet or something.
You need one? We got one. All right. Right on 8th and Chestnut in the heart of Jewelers Row, Golden Nugget Jewelers. It's where Philly gets engaged. Mother's Day will be around the corner, right? Springtime's a great time to get engaged. Very, engagement season starts again, right?
Summer's coming. You just might want some more bling for yourself. Gold chain. You have the shirt off at the beach.
Yeah.
Need some jewelry.
It's the Joey.
There we go, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, the Gold Nugget can help with the chain. Not only about the 6-pack, but they can help with all your gift ideas. All right. The best stuff in the world. Go see your own if you're going to get engaged. All right. They got it all for you. The designers like Corey Viraggio for the setting. They'll match up the largest certified diamond selection, one that fits your budget, and take the stress out of it. GoldenNuggetJewelers.com is where you go. Golden Nugget Jewelers, where Philly gets engaged. All right, let's talk about Parks Casino, Street Road, Ben Salem. We know what happens at Parks Casino. The Excite Center.
Lots of good food, and you go see some good shows.
All kinds of shows. I wonder if Foreigner's going to be there.
How about the brain at a Foreigner show? I'm like, what?
The brain loves his Foreigner. All right. Well, you know what? There's always another great act at Parks Casino. Headline entertainment, concerts, comedy, MMA, boxing, all at the state-of-the-art Excite Center. Thousands of online slots, state-of-the-art sports book, beautiful poker room, and a collection of the award-winning restaurants. Here we go. Just announced July 26th, the hilarious Joe Gatto from Impractical Jokers.
Larry!
July 3rd, Grammy-winning singer-songwriter Gary Clark Jr.
Here come old flat top, he come grooving up slowly.
He got Jojo eyeball.
You guys are good together.
To his knees.
Comedian Ron White, March 20th.
Can't fix Maury.
The Motown sounds of the Isley Brothers, April 11th.
This old heart of mine's been broke 1,000 times.
Each time you break away.
Still, he didn't get it.
He's getting there.
Come on, Andrew. You sound good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The comedy duo Chad Daniels and Kelsey Cook from Pretend Problems podcast. Psychic medium Matt Frazier, April 18th.
I'm feeling a Mary or a Jim.
Jim. The band live, April 24th, TV Todd. The client.
Oh,
now I feel it coming back again.
Larry the Cable Guy, May 16th.
Get her in.
Don't forget, dinner and drinks before the show. Liberty Bell Gastropub, Beer Garden, Parks Grill Steakhouse, Bamboo Noodle House, Chickies, and Pete's, ParksCasino.com. To buy tickets for all shows, Parks Casino. This is how you win. You got to be 21. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Okay, to give you some breaking Eagles news.
Yes.
They have Rick Lovato's time looks to be over.
The long snapper.
They have signed former Browns long snapper Charlie Hewlett per Aaron Wilson. I don't know who that is, but Rick Lovato out, apparently.
All right. The long. Didn't he have his girlfriend help snapping him?
No, that was man.
That was Braden Mann.
That's
right. That was
practicing catching the bad snaps.
Right. That was it. You're right.
Can I just show you something real quick before we get to TV, Todd?
Yeah, we also have our Rite Aid back in the day.
We have the Rite Aid back in the day, but this is something that somebody posted here in the studio, and I wanted to bring this up to you, Anthony.
Oh, yeah.
Pizza Hut.
Oh, my God.
Nobody out. Those breadsticks were delicious.
Posted Pizza Hut on his Instagram story yesterday.
Right. Listen, you get a large with 2 toppings for $12.99. Delicious.
What?
I just wanted to know how you felt about
Where do you live?
Well, I can't go into the details that would bore everyone of my long afternoon. But I was in the area. Me and the Peg were feeling nostalgic for the days back in the 80s. And we're like, there's a pizza. I was like, I'll bring some Pizza Hut home. Haven't had it in 30 years.
Pizza Hut.
Yeah, man.
Pizza
Hut.
Man.
No one out pizzas the Hut. No one out pizzas the Hut, buddy.
South Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Pizza
I was
Hut.
at Celebrate yesterday.
Sometimes you gotta
with a bunch of kids, and they were like, "Oh my god, this pizza's unbelievable." A lot of the parents hadn't been to Celebrate.
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh my god, this pizza's outrageous."
Yeah, nobody's saying Pizza Hut's as good as Celebri's, but sometimes you gotta dig with the trash a little bit, see what's down there, see how it's going. I'm a man of the people. Got to keep my taste buds on the street.
That's a violation pie, man.
What is that? What are you talking about?
What?
You're a man of the people.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I'm a man of the people.
People don't go to Celebrate?
Yeah. South.
So you're supposed to
I'm a
go.
man. Sometimes I go back to my roots.
Ruination.
I go back to my roots at Kensington. There's a Pizza Hut there. I'm in the mood for a pie. Boom, I grab it.
The ruination of pizza is chain pizza.
Dude, Pizza Hut's the OG.
You don't
it's
use
the OG.
you don't do pizza chains.
It's the OG.
You are disgraced.
No respect for the OG of the chain
You're not
pizza.
from my region. There's no way you're from my region.
I can't wait to get a pie with you in your region. In Vigo del Gargano.
Yeah, Pizza Hut pie.
We're cousins. We're cousins, probably. If we took it,
that's what I heard.
genetic testing,
He's
we'd probably
from
be cousins.
Vigo del Gargano, which is in Puglia. My family, we go back from Atrani.
We're brethren.
Back to Puglia and Gargano.
Could you imagine that? You two related? His jarred sauces and Pizza Hut?
No,
we are related.
No, he's not. He's not Italian.
We are the same. We are the same.
Pizza Hut.
Are
you kidding me?
Can I show you something?
Like I thank you, Andrew, for diming him out.
Yeah, of course.
And of course, I have something good for Andrew to see, and he's gonna treat me like that. So,
well, he would dime me out, so I added.
The Philly World Cup's released a little promo, get you jazzed up for it.
Yeah, I'm excited for the Philadelphia for the World Cup.
Yeah, they
Same here.
Yeah,
they got Jazzy Jeff doing a little soundtrack to it. It's like 30 seconds long. It's good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, good visuals of our great city.
I love it. Yeah. Well done.
So, hey, also, I think yesterday they released the dates. So it looks like June 14th, 19th, 22, 25, 27 are the group stage games here. And July 4th, we get a round of 16 game.
Yeah.
Wow, July 4th.
Oh, man, yeah.
That's awesome.
USA
World
and England.
Cup, you on the day the country turns 250. Right here in the birthplace of America, Philadelphia.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, if U.S. and England are playing in the round of 16, they have to make it that game.
Have to be here. Yes.
That would be insane.
Yes,
that'd be fabulous. That'd be unbelievable.
Yeah. By the way, Jamie's in the chat room. James Lynch Jr. Pizza Hut breadsticks slap. He knows what's up. He's a man of a fine palate. He's a good foodie.
No, listen to me. Jamie has no dissenting taste.
He's a good foodie.
He is a good foodie. But here's his problem. He likes everything. He's got great high-end taste.
Yeah, but he knows when something's great.
But he also is a half of a mouse.
He knows when something's great, like those breadsticks.
He's a raccoon.
Listen, I'm going to bring those breadsticks in here.
I wouldn't touch those breadsticks. Bread. We're come for the land of bread.
The processed Parmesan cheese stuff they got on top.
The
Delicious.
garlic sauce that you can dip.
Delicious. No. That's Papa John's with the garlic sauce you dip. These come with a nice.
How do you know this?
He
even knows.
The pizza.
Slop.
He knows his slop,
The
man.
Pizza Hut comes with breadsticks come with a nice side of marinara. It's delicious.
Oh God. How I skeeve.
And by the way, like if you're out bopping around and you're out late at 4 a.m., there's only like 2 or 3 places to deliver pizza to you. Papa John's one of them.
Skeeve. You're a skeeve. All right. A man who's not a skeeve.
You want to go back in the day with Todd here or do it before?
We'll do it after.
All right, after. All right.
TV Todd. Act like a man. You can't handle the truth.
It's time for TV Todd.
Todd.
Oh, he's got his Adidas gear on. He's ready for the
He's
World
ready
Cup.
for the World Cup.
Absolutely. You know, I'm hooking you guys up with that coverage.
I know. We're going to be, we're going to play a little role in the World Cup.
I
coming
hope
to
so.
Philadelphia.
I got that meeting coming up. I got that meeting coming up on Wednesday, cuz, and then I'm going to connect you.
I love it. I think that's fantastic. So, my man, how do you feel about Fly Guys' nice win last night against the Lightning?
Yeah, you know what's great about it is I love where you've gotten to with the Flyers, right? You're just enjoying it. You're enjoying, when they lose, you're like, all right, but you can maybe find like a Mitchkoff goal or an assist to get excited about. That's awesome, because some of these players give you a little something every night. They may not win, but Mitchkoff, every night he gives you something.
Every night. How about the goal last night? And a little shimmy off to the fans last night? That was fantastic.
I love his attitude, but also, you know what I'm really loving? I'm loving a couple of these young guys that really took big steps forward here, especially in the latter half of the season. Cates, Brink. That's really important. They're feeling it. They're feeling comfortable. VG, you said it this morning. I'm excited about the offseason.
Yeah, can't wait. I can't wait to see what they're going to do.
We're going to do a draft party. You got to be part of the draft party.
I would love that. That would be fun.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it up, the draft party.
Yeah,
that's going to
be movers and shakers.
Yeah, it's going to be
free
great.
agency's going to be fun.
Oh yeah,
you got some money.
Totally. So what's going on this week, buddy?
This is a really weird week, and I'm going to throw out a couple shows to you here, but there's something that we have to address as a people here. And VG, you say you're the man of the people, so we need to get into this issue. So listen to this. This is an unusual week. So we have 3 shows that are high profile, well-produced, critically acclaimed shows. One that's out already, 2 come out today. But here's the common thread on all 3 of these shows. The common thread is they are all set in Philadelphia, and they are all portraying Philadelphia as crime and drug riddled as a city. So let's go through them, because this is interesting. I don't think I've seen 3 shows in 1 week that are all set in Philadelphia with the same kind of theme. So here's the first one. Now, the first one is a comedy, and I have to say, it's probably maybe like 2 or 3 episodes too long, but it's pretty hilarious. It's called The Deli Boys, and it's on Hulu.
From Queer Eye Guys?
Not that I know of.
No? I thought one of those guys.
Oh, I don't
was
know.
in it.
I don't. You talking about the actors that are in it?
And that's a new show?
So it's a new show on Hulu, and I'm telling you, it is really funny. It is. But it's about these 2 brothers who inherit their father's convenience store business in Philadelphia, corner convenience stores, after he's killed, and they find out that their father was involved in a drug ring. He was smuggling cocaine in through some of the food products. They're a Pakistani family, and they start smuggling cocaine in through Indian restaurants and stuff. It is funny. It is funny. Now, here's what's even better about it. So the producer, I think, is a Drexel grad or lived in the city, because Drexel is a theme that keeps coming up in the show, because one of the characters, one of the young brothers, went to Drexel Business School. And so he keeps saying, hey, I went to Drexel. Like, you need to trust me on this. And he wears the Drexel shirt. And
that's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. And there's lots of Eagles stuff in there. They go to a Super Bowl party, and they talk about, the one guy who's a major drug dealer has a room filled with all kinds of Philly sports merchandise that he's collected over the years. It's good. It's like 10 episodes long or something. So it's probably 3 or 4 too long, but it's worth it. And set in Philadelphia.
30 minutes?
30 minutes.
Yeah.
Some good blood and gore and dark comedy. And so anyway, it's doing so well that there's a whole merch line. There's parties that are springing up about this, and they've already picked up season.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I know you're not a comedy guy, Coach,
I'm
but it's
in
a
on
dark
that.
comedy.
No,
a
I
dark
love that.
comedy.
So
All right.
It's Tan France of Queer Eye. He's the fashion guy in that makeover show, which is a good show. He plays Zubair, a South London gang leader in that series. That's how I read some press piece about that.
Okay. Yeah, it's a fun show. Definitely a fun show.
I like it. I can't wait to.
Yeah.
I'm in on that.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Then we have two shows that are more serious drama crime thrillers. One is a show on Apple that just started that actually I've been reading a lot about, people saying it's like the next big crime thriller. It's called Dope Thief. And that's about, I want to say it's going to be like 6 or 8 episodes. I'm not really sure. But in that story, you have a couple guys from Philly who pose as DEA agents, and they try to rob to take down a narcotics ring in Philadelphia, and they get embroiled in all kinds of stuff. But people are saying that this series is the next big crime thriller. But again, Philadelphia, drugs, crime syndicate, murder. These are the themes on all 3 of these shows.
I'm going to watch that. That looks good.
Yeah, it does look good. I have not watched it yet. I'm going to start watching that. And then the third one is based on a very popular book called Long Bright River. And that's on Peacock. And that stars Amanda Seyfried. And she's a Philadelphia cop or detective. And she's investigating a series of murders in an area of the city that is riddled with the opioid crisis and opioid use. And somehow she discovers a connection from the murders to her family or something along those lines. But it's a huge book. So I'm sure it's going to do really well. But again, set in Philadelphia, opioid crisis, string of murders, drugs. 3 shows in 1 week that portray our city. I'm not sure. Maybe Andrew could pull that up. Since he has that page on there. There's the book.
More?
That's awesome. Wow, that's interesting.
I'm a fan of Amanda's work, but I don't know if I could buy her as a cop. I'll be curious to see if she pulls that off.
Yeah, you know what? She's a good actress.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to see, get into it and see. But what does this say about the world and how it perceives us?
Yeah, Well, here's the thing. That the footage of Kensington has been viral.
Yeah.
And that's a part of how the city's viewed.
Yep.
Yeah, go back to go back to Mayor of Easttown. And when I start really thinking about the projects that are set in Philadelphia, the major projects, there's not a lot of super happy, feel good stories.
I think you read mine.
Yours is a mixture of both. Yours is a mixture of both. But listen, you're focused on that time period and that the dark side of Philadelphia as well.
Yeah. There's, let's face it. We got, we're the first city, right? The first capital of the country. There's a lot of ghosts. We had that. Washington Square Park was a burial ground for the first pandemic that wiped out, 4/5 of the city.
Legionnaires?
No. Back in the 1800s, the first pandemic was they used Washington Square Park to bury the bodies.
Wow. Was that like the Black Plague or what was?
Yeah, it was like it was influenza. Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Looks like Dope Thief was filmed here, and that Long Bright River is filmed in New York. We'll see if they make New York look like Philly.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah. I don't know. Dope Thief looks good. Actually, that's the one I think I got interested in. I like the Deli Boys for sure, but Dope Thief of the 2 dramas, Dope Thief looks really good.
Makes sense. I lean Deli Boys, you lean Dope Thief. Yeah, that checks out. Yeah.
1793, the yellow fever. That was what it was, the pandemic. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just looked it up.
Yeah. The yellow fever.
Pretty wild.
Yeah. In fact, I have it in one of my other stories that I did. I don't know if I ever sent you that one, where the bones of the pandemic of that people are basically the bones come up through Alpha Thalia sinkhole, and it ties into today. But there's a which is
we talked about that one. I love that. I love it. You laid out for me the opening, and I loved it.
Yeah, it's a great one. That's a fun one. Yeah.
That's a fun one. Well, it's interesting. I think these are all 3 high quality shows. So I think they're worth checking out. And the Philadelphia thing makes it interesting. The Deli Boys is just fun. You're going to love all the references. You're going to love, they hit all the Philly stereotype references in there. It's good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm in on that.
Well, my brother, I love it. Great Rex as always. What do you have on tap?
This weekend, I think I'm going to chill this week. I just got back from a week away in production, so I think I'm just going to chill out this weekend. Just maybe go see some movies. There's a couple good, really interesting movies in the theater. The new Steven Soderbergh movie looks interesting, Black Bag. So I may check that one out.
That looks good.
It's a guy is like finds out that his wife, who's Kate Blanchett, they're both like intelligence officers.
Yeah.
They work for the government, and they find out that she's a threat to the government. So I think he has to take his own wife down.
Michael Fassbender, right?
Yeah, Fassbender and Kate Blanchett.
Well, the Pagan saw Mickey 17 during the week. She says, good, not like Parasite, but she's like, like a B- maybe.
I didn't even know that was out.
It looks interesting.
Yeah.
Looks very interesting.
Yeah,
it's like a
disposable
body. They could send you into missions and then you replicate when you die, like a video game.
Yeah, it's like a 3D printer. They keep printing them out again and again. But you keep your memories. Yeah.
That's cool. That's you keep your memories. That's interesting.
And hey,
I may check that out.
If you get time, Temptation Island, I'm only 3 episodes in. It's off to a good start. Juicy, salacious.
Pizza Hut and Temptation Island.
Oh my God, he's got
Pizza Hut and Temptation Island last
Todd
night.
and I were talking about you the other day about what a dichotomy.
Little Joey knows he's in on Temptation Island.
I was really into it. I couldn't stop watching it, honestly.
Yeah, couldn't stop watching it.
If I got put on that show, I would cheat first. Yeah, you go on this show with like a toxic girlfriend, and then you get set up. You set up for failure, and all the girls are so hot.
Joey's cheating day 1. He said,
Yeah,
on this
day 1
island.
cheat. Day 1 cheat.
Oh my God, that's great. I love it. Todd and I were talking about you. You are such a dichotomy because you should have great taste, but you don't.
I have no middling. I have great taste, and I like trash, and I got no middle. I got no time for middle ground. I don't want to. I'm not a middler.
I don't think you recognize high level.
All right.
I think sometimes.
What's the last Godot movie you watched? What's the last Fellini movie you watched? Come on.
Again,
I just don't watch the mids.
Todd and I talk about some good stuff, and you're out on
it's a lot of mids. A lot of mids. No time for the mids.
Brutalist is not a mid.
No, Brutalist is probably fine. I think it's a little overrated. It's probably a little rated. I imagine it's going to be
overrated. You don't even know.
I'm imagining it's a good film, but I mean, the architecture stuff stinks. I'm not interested in the architecture, but I'll watch the story at some point.
4 hours.
Yeah, I'll watch it at some point.
It's a fake building, by the way, in the movie that he makes. It's not a real building.
It's not overrated though. It is a quality film.
Yeah, you didn't say great though. You said quality.
I loved it. It is great. I loved it. One of my favorite movies in the whole Oscar contender field.
Come on, Pizza Hut.
Ooh, I will get a Pizza Hut double order of breadsticks for the Brutalist.
Oh, you're awful.
The Shackaroni or whatever it is.
Oh, you and Shaq are eating this pizza. Oh my God, Todd, we love you, buddy. You're the best, man.
All right, love you guys.
Thanks, Todd.
Go Flyers.
Todd. Time now for the Rite Aid back in the day moment. Back.
We're going back.
back, back, back. We're going back, 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 back. We're going back, 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 back. Back in the day with Rite Aid. Yeah!
All right, so this is kind of a mashup. This is back in the day meets modern day. 22 years ago, our man Mo Cheeks helped out a woman sing the national anthem. And they reunited.
Awesome.
They reunited.
I love that. What a story.
Yeah.
That's fabulous. That's great stuff.
He's such a good dude.
He's the best,
Yeah.
Mo. Maurice, he is. He's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. By the way, Officer Neil in St. Martin listening to the show.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. Neil, way to go. Retired
I gotta get
Philly
down
PD
there.
now.
Oh, good for him. I
Yeah.
gotta get down there.
Yeah, it'd be nice to
Bahamas or the
right?
Virgin Islands.
After hearing Baldy, right? Doing the whole thing.
Go catch some lionfish.
Here you go. You know a lot about them. You're a fisherman.
I'm a fisherman.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, that's going to do it for us. Great job, Andrew. Great job, Joey.
Oh,
all right.
The flex all.
All right, Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
All right, have a
Good
great Pizza Hut. Breadstick.
Let's go, Joe. St. Joe tonight. Let's get some action going.
Let's watch
locally.
some hoop. Let's watch some hoop. Everybody have a great weekend. Be careful. All right, we love you. See you on Monday.
We all silly like the mayor.